12 players came, now just 6 remain. A very warm welcome to finals night here, and I must say, rainy MODUS Super Series outside in Portsmouth. The weather is dreadful. Thank goodness we're inside, and thank goodness that I'm joined still by a 3-time Lakeside champion and Premier League champion, Dennant. Glenn, you know about these big occasions, these big finals nights. What sort of advice would you give to the players down there tonight?
Well, let's look at Lisa Ashton first of all. She's probably come tonight thinking, let's just focus on the job, and she's walked in the venue tonight, and the Lancashire Massive are all here in force. So
yeah, it does look very good from where we are, I hope, here on the balcony.
So for her, it might all change now because she's got all the crowd support. For someone like a Richie Parkin, who I know really well, go and enjoy it. Whatever you've got, leave it on there, and just remember, peak at the right time.
Absolutely, and let's look back at the week. Actually, let's go with that. Really, I mean, we've got a fantastic lineup so far here at finals night this week. We've had drama right up until the last. We've had some real heartbreaking moments as well. A little bit. You think of Mike Warburton, you think of Jacques Labre, who just missed out on leg difference. Warby in particular twice.
Yeah, the highs and the lows. And my preparation for my opening chat when we get into the commentary downstairs is about Mike Warburton. You know, second place and then miss out on leg difference as well. And visually upset last night. I hope he's not upset with me saying that. But that's how much it means to these players, even someone as established as him. Highs and lows. Honestly, in darts, they can be right up there, but you've got to accept the lows at the same time. Yeah,
let's take a look back then a little bit at some highlights of the week. And I tell you something, there were some massive checkouts that we saw in particular as well. Josh Richardson really did well in particular as well. But let's have a look at this there. I mean, Jamie Kelling as well, you can see there. He's at the part of finals night as well tonight. This 1-2-6 coming through.
Yeah, the timing was great on there. He scored really big, you know, for Lisa. You know, she played well on it this week, but her big thing this week was a double, so to see that going was really good for her. If she can get that balance right between the high scoring. Matthew Dennant, I think he's a pick for many of the players tonight. I just love his attitude.
I mean, you look at Richie Parkin, you know him too well.
Yeah, this is probably the big fish for the fish factory worker. Which is not easy as a commentator, but that was the moment of the week for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, as well, I mean, that was a fantastic checkout. And then you see Lee Evans as well. He went through it in this 1-2-5 in particular against Matty Dennant. He really looked good last night.
I think he had the spurt, which could be good enough for tonight. It's whether or not you can find it. But what I would say to people, it's not about winning your first game. Peak at the right time. Remember, it's a long night.
Yeah, Conor Heneghan there, you can see there, with having that 1-5-6. He helped himself getting through there. He won Group A earlier on in the week. So I tell you what, like I say, finals night coming through. Conor Heneghan, we haven't seen him for a couple of days as well. That's important, actually, isn't it? How important is it to have that rest as we come into tonight, do you think?
Well, I think we've seen that demonstrated last night, because the 3 guys that came through with it, you know, with the guys who were fresh, you know, Mike and, you know, who was the other
Andreas.
one? Andreas. You could see a little bit of fatigue kicking in sort of last night. So I guess in answer for what I've seen so far, coming in fresh is probably the ideal.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's take a look then at this group lineup in just a couple of moments. And there it is. There you can see that Group 1 looks stacked. Conor Heneghan, Lisa Ashton and Matty Dennant. And then in Group 2 as well, you can see Jamie Kelling, Lee Evans and Richie Parkin as the crowd. I think I might have just seen a certain Lancashire Rose walking in. We'll talk about her in a minute. But look at those 2 groups. They look stacked.
Yeah, it's great to have a crowd, by the way. This is what it's all about. And what a different dimension it is for Lisa, because she had no idea they were here. That top group, that is very, very tough. If I was a betting man, I'd rather be in Group B right now.
Absolutely. So let's talk about as well then who they could be joining as well into Champions Week. Jim McHugh, Alexander Wirtz as well. Justin Smith and your mate as well, Colin Osborne, have already managed to get themselves that win and get themselves into Champions Week. I've got to ask, do you still think that you might be able to? Do you still got to go with the Lancashire Rose, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. And now the crowd's here. I'm never change your mind. I'm a massive fan of Lisa, but honestly, there's a case for all 6 players tonight. Sit back, enjoy, and may the best man or woman win.
Yes, indeed. Glenn, we're going to let you go in just a moment in time and head off into the commentary box. But let's talk about Conor Heneghan as well, actually, because we haven't seen him for a couple of days. He managed to beat Jacques Labre in Group A. I'm actually thinking about it as well. That was that last match of the night in that group, and he managed to just about get there.
You know, as a commentator, to sit there 3 days to come down to the last leg, I felt every moment of it. Spoke with Conor afterwards, spoke with Mike Warburton, and the effects there. Like I said, he comes in fresh. No one's talking a lot about him. He could be dangerous.
Well, we haven't heard from him for a couple of days, so let's see what he's feeling. He caught up with Henry Deacon earlier on.
Conor, welcome to finals night here at the Super Series. How have you spent your last couple of days?
Just relaxing, I suppose, watching the World Cup and watching the darts unfold. So I've been resting the last 2 days, or 3 days.
How much of the last couple of days have you watched, or did you just want to have a couple of days break from it all?
No, I actually have watched most of it. I've watched a good lot of it, I'd say, and the World Cup as well, as I was saying. So just to pass the time, really. So I was just watching everyone play away, and I was there just resting away, so it was good.
How did you find your Group A campaign?
Yeah, it was tough. Look, I got lucky. I don't think I played anyways like I can. So hopefully tonight now I can turn that around and get the job done.
You've made Champions Weeks previously in Southampton. What did it mean to get something here, win a night here?
Yeah, look, I haven't won one yet, so that's the plan, to go out and win it tonight and see where that takes me then after that.
Well, Conor, we wish you well. Good luck tonight.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, he sounds super relaxed, doesn't he, Conor Heneghan? And he's playing Lisa Ashton, the Lancashire Rose. Now, she finished 5th in Group A earlier on this week, but she managed to beat Josh Richardson with that double 9 to take her 2nd place in Group C, and it puts her into Group 1. Earlier on today, we heard from her yesterday. She sounded a little bit under the weather, it must be said, when we interviewed her up here on the balcony. Let's see how she's feeling tonight. She got up with Henry.
Lisa, welcome to finals night here at the Super Series. The atmosphere is already building here. How do you feel going into tonight?
Well, I feel a lot better than I've done all week, so hopefully I can keep it going and see how it goes.
How have you found your week so far?
Beginning of the week, I set her off Wednesday, had a bit of a bad day, not felt so well, feel a bit better now, and I've got quite a bit of support in now with the counties just down the road, so hopefully they can cheer me on and I can get through.
Will it feel a little bit like a home fixture for you tonight with your Lancashire teammates here?
Just a bit of pressure, I think, but yeah, it's nice to have some support down here, which I've never had before, so hopefully, yeah, they can help me get through the end.
And what would getting through the Champions Week mean for you?
Oh, it massively, yeah. Hopefully I can get there. It's another step forward in it, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be there.
We wish you well, Lisa. All the best.
Thank you.
Well, what a start this is going to be then. Here we go. It is finals night at the MODUS Super Series in Portsmouth. It's Conor Heneghan against Lisa Ashton to get us started. So let's get started with your referee, the legendary Mr. Paul Hinks. And in commentary, Glenn Dennant has joined Henry Deacon. Good evening, gentlemen.
Very good evening, Jarlath. A very good evening, everyone. Welcome along to finals night. This is what all the players have been working all week to do, to be here in front of a live audience and to be here with a chance of picking up the £5,000 top prize and to be the 5th player to put themselves into the Champions League Roll of Honour. Conor Heneghan got the week up and running in terms of qualification. He won Group A with the very last game of that session on legs difference. Lisa Ashton had to go through the mill of Group C, and after 5 days of competition, she is here. So the question mark will be on game 1, will it be the fresh Conor Heneghan or the match sharp Lisa Ashton who's going to win through Glenn Dennant?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. What a week. Ups and downs, highs
Ladies
and
and
lows,
gentlemen, first leg,
180s,
it's Conor to
high
throw
finishes,
first. Game on.
heartache, ecstasy. And that's just the commentary box. What a fabulous week. What an opportunity to win £5,000 tonight. Get to Champions Week.
77.
The first prize is £20,000. Incredibly, Hampshire are at home in the
46.
county system to them guys you can see on the right of your screen there, Lancashire. So what a bonus for Lisa Ashton when she walked in tonight. She had no idea.
134.
I was told this morning they were coming, but not to tell her. So just imagine having all them fans. So she's got 95% of the crowd on her side.
45.
And as mentioned in the pre-match interview, that it effectively becomes a home fixture for her.
It can also put an element of pressure on. So
60.
like anything, there's positives and negatives. But if you're asking my opinion, I would rather have all them behind me. There's no better feeling when you've got your
100.
supporters behind you. But just to get off, up and running tonight, getting on first. Just, you know, get the job done, get to the semi-finals. 2 from 3 go through with this group.
60.
This group is pretty loaded. It's pretty stacked. For me, it's the tougher of the two.
The groups for this evening's fixtures, we'll talk about the
140.
formats as well in the next leg.
170.
Conor Heneghan leaving himself the big fish. Both of them leaving the big fish after 12. Ashton will get the opportunity to do it now for breaker
90.
throw in the
Lisa
opener.
Car 170.
Very likeable man, Conor Heneghan. Got
60.
to know him really
Conor
well this week.
Car 80.
Very softly spoken, very determined. And what this double 10 would mean for him right now. And double 5 you've been watching has been the double of the week.
On the first leg.
And that
Conor
trend
Heneghan.
continues. It must be the size of a bucket, I think I've said a couple of times this week, because it's been the go-to double for so many. And can you see the way he just puffs his chest out there?
Second leg,
What a
Lisa
relief to get the
first. Game on.
First leg on the board. He's already up and running.
100.
This is how the format works tonight. The 6 players are split into 2 groups of 3. So this is Group 1 action. The other player will be Matt Dennant. And then in Group 2, Lee Evans, Richie
100.
Parkin and Jamie Kelling. Lee Evans actually helped Kelling get to the final tonight. The top 2 from those groups will then go through to the
60.
semi-finals. The group winners will get the chance to throw first in their respective semi-finals. One of that will go through to the final. They'll bull up for the honour. And then the winner will be in Champions Week.
180.
So let's have a little look at the styles. I'm going to start with Conor.
59.
Now, this week, if he gets the timing right, he showed me a YouTube video of himself representing Ireland as a boy, and it was really snatchy. It was very,
93.
very snatchy his throw, but when he gets the timing right, he's got a very long dart, long point, but he has, if you can watch out from being going in the treble 5s and 5s when he gets it wrong.
140.
But when he gets the timing right, he's looked the player of the week so far.
Averaging 97 at this early stage. Needed the treble 20 there to present himself
56.
an opportunity at the bullseye. So 72 if he
142.
returns, but Lisa Ashton looking to land the first big finish blow of the evening.
And when it's been best of 7, you really do want to hold your throw, because
90.
going
Conor
2-0 down this
72.
early, it's very, very difficult to pull back. So already, and you'll hear me say it many times tonight, big dart.
32. Lisa Car 52.
And there's the support for Lisa. She has struggled on her doubles this week, but with that support behind her, this double 10
42.
has just
Conor
pretty
Heneghan,
much summed
40.
up her week. Them 3 darts there. Big chance for Conor. That's a good marker for him, because he just follows the dart through.
No score.
Didn't expect
Lisa Car
another chance
10.
there for Lisa. And with 10 left, Henry, we know what that means.
The war of approval for the Lancashire Road rose from a dawning
No
public,
score.
but
Conor
the
Car
doubles
40.
doesn't go, and so Heneghan returns the top to a 2-0 lead, a breaker throw. Double 10. That's now
30.
1 from 9 on the
Lisa Car
doubles, and that
10.
is becoming the trouble for Conor Heneghan. Ashton returns for the regularly spotted double 5.
And if you wonder why she's looking at her
Being
foot
shown
there,
the second leg.
Lisa is one of them
Lisa
unusual
Ashton.
players who actually throws from round about 7 foot 11 to 8 foot. And as you can see there, she's just finding a mark where for Conor, it's easy because he'll just rest his foot on
Third
the
leg,
hockey.
Conor to throw first. Game on.
Lisa's a player who just sits off the hockey a little bit, and there's that little 5, which might just demonstrate the little bit of tension and
78.
anxiety in his body there. And when he just doesn't get that flick right, there's that tendency you're doing there. But for Lisa, it's simple. She has to start finding these doubles like the champion she is.
26.
It's a good case of spot the player in the crowd as well. Josh Richardson and Lee Schoen have decided to come and watch this evening's session. You also have
134.
Jordan Brooks in amongst the crowd as well this evening.
David Evans as well. So the Lancashire
60.
Massive are out in force. But the beauty of a crowd like this is that they're all dart fans. They know exactly when to cheer, and they know exactly when not
100.
to talk and be off-putting for the other players. So there'll be no issues that way. All they want is a fantastic game. But right now, it's Heneghan who's
58.
taking control of this leg in a big way.
$140.
There's a 2-dart combination. You have the feeling that Lisa is already thinking of the next leg, but
85. Conor Car
she hasn't
49.
settled. That's for sure. Just needs to kiss off that barrel. You'll see the angle here.
17.
Not too much panic with Lisa on 2-7-2. You may see the bullseye on the last dart come into factor here, especially if this treble goes in.
36. Conor Heneghan, 32.
Not often Lisa Ashton gives away frustrations,
Shot
but
of
she
the third
did
leg.
there.
Conor
Conor
Heneghan.
Heneghan leads 2-1. And Lisa Ashton, not often we say this about her, but she's going to have to up it a little bit here.
Fourth leg, Lisa to throw first. Game on.
That's more like it from the Lancashire Rose. And a crowd roar their approval.
Yeah, the theme for Lisa this week, I don't think she has any fear
180.
of scoring with the best. But Conor, when he gets in front, he does appear to be a bit of a front runner.
84.
He's had some epic battles with Mike Warburton this week. I bet when he walked out and he saw the crowd pro Lisa.
57.
And the only parallel I can give to that is I remember walking on a lakeside stage playing Dean Reynolds. And Dean lived, and his family and friends lived very close to the
85.
lakeside. And it took my breath away. It was a tough one because, you know, all the crowd, and I mean all the crowd were on his side. I'm just wondering, just a test for Conor.
125.
See his focus. All he needs to do is stare that treble 20 out, and you saw that as he picked them darts out. Lots of options here. Look, I mean, treble 16 has been the favoured route.
Conor Heneghan, 139.
Turning point this, treble 19. Lisa will be preparing for this 56
56.
with the expectation that she's only going to get one chance at this, Henry.
Because Heneghan is back for the breaker throw. One dart left for Ashton.
16.
And that's now 1 from
Conor
8 on the
Heneghan,
doubles.
40.
And so Heneghan returns for the break for a 3-1 lead and a put in within a leg of a win in his opening group game. Double 5. Sets back to recompose.
30.
G'd himself
Lisa
on, but
Heneghan,
maybe
40.
G'd himself up too much.
You can feel the tension in the room. Both players
Being
struggling.
shot on the fourth leg. Lisa Ashton.
But like so many times I've said this week, it's Desmond.
And important in this group phase as well, because it's only 2 games, legs difference by and
This
large
leg
comes
Conor to
into
throw
play.
first. Game on.
So if you're going to win, win big. If you're going to lose, make sure it's 4-3 at all costs.
83.
I did make an observation when I come in tonight. There just seemed a little bit, a really different players' lounge there. A real focus.
180.
The laughter. All that's gone now and it's business tonight. And what an opportunity these MODUS Super Series
44.
gives amateur players now. The partnership with the ADC is working so well.
100.
If any of you players watching, I know there's a lot from my neck of the woods watching tonight for Richie Parkin. If you get that call to come to Portsmouth for the Super Series, make sure you
140.
accept.
Or, of course, make sure you're taking part in your ADC Championship events.
140.
Because the best players from there and the winners of the ADC Tour events next year, but also a women's tour that's a part of it as well. They also get a qualification into this particular
95.
event.
Lisa
And Ashton here
81.
in the room at this present moment in time is looking to turn this game around. Heneghan had 3 darts in hand for a 3-1 lead, but Ashton misses the big number there, and so
23.
the
Conor
opportunity
Heneghan,
may have come and gone for
139.
now. On the Heneghan cannot find something inspired, so Ashton will get the second bite of the cherry at 58.
59. Lisa Heneghan, 58.
Yeah, Lisa's been second best for this match. And one thing Conor needs to learn is you've got to take your chances. 'Cause when you're playing a 4-time
Lisa
champion of the world,
Ashton.
one of the most decorated lady players ever to represent our game, you've got to punish them. And even though Lisa's been second best for a lot of this game,
Six leg Lisa to throw first.
she's
Game
now
on.
thrown for the match.
95.
I think we both felt, Henry, this week it's going to be virtually impossible to pick a win out these 6, because they always have,
One
they
out of
all
them,
6 of them have
40.
showed moments of brilliance. And the word timing then comes into it. And I love that camera angle. We've seen this all week. You can just see
100.
from the eye line of the player, the way that how different players dart sort of enter the board. You'll see with Richie Parkin and Jamie Kelling the way the trajectory of the dart really loops in.
57.
Whereas Lee Evans, there's just no deviation of the darts. That camera angle's been great to watch. We've seen some fantastic side angles where we're trying to
58.
analyse throws. We've been trying to be quite constructive with players, especially with people's counting and that this week. It's been a lovely week, but it all peaks out
96.
for tonight.
Although a little bit less comms cam would probably be best for everyone, I suppose.
60.
But just when you think someone's taking the ascendancy, Lisa's had her opportunities, but 58 and 60, the last 6 darts, are going to be punished.
140.
And just as you think, Lisa, it was advantage to her, all of a sudden the game's back in Conor's hands. And more importantly, it's
58.
Conor's darts, the last
Connor
leg you'd
Heneghan,
be thinking.
68.
And when you miss so many doubles, all of a sudden these combination finishes become really difficult. But sometimes when you've only got the one dart at the double,
Game shot on the 6th
they
leg.
pop in like that.
Conor
Sometimes the hardest
Heneghan.
part of the game is when you've got 3 darts in your hand at a double. What an exciting start to the day. An exciting start to the night. And who is going to
7th and final leg. Conor to throw first.
cement their
Game on.
place at the top of this group early doors?
It's Heneghan with the advantage of throw.
100.
But has been academic in a game full of twists and turns, ups and downs, peaks and troughs.
60.
And I'll tell you why that's frustrating, because all 3 of them darts, when she left the hand, thought we're going in the treble 20. And all of a sudden,
100.
Conor is smelling blood.
And a little stare down the barrel of the camera, a point up as well. He knows the importance of that maximum. His third at the match, his third of the match, and it could be the most important.
Yes, he's just gone over the 90 average mark. Just below the treble there, so he'll use the 17 bet
91.
here. And he does that very effectively. Lisa, you feel, needs a max.
100. Conor Heneghan, 130.
So you can finish with 1 treble combination here, but the most important thing is just to set it up. And that second dart does exactly that.
115.
And the only problem when you go for that 25 is the potential to hit the bull. And that 15, if Lisa can put some pressure on it, would not be a gimme.
36.
But all of a sudden,
Conor Heneghan, 15.
makes this just a little bit easier.
Double 4 for leg 4.
Game
And
shot
for the
on
perfect
match.
start for
Conor
Conor
Heneghan.
Heneghan. And look what it means to the Irishman, who gets the better of Lisa Ashton in a last leg decider. He could have made it a bit easier for himself at times. He did race into 2-1 lead, had darts of 3-1. Ashton came back, but Heneghan wins it in the decider by 4 legs to 3. He's the first victor of the evening. We're going to take a short break. We get Group 2 underway after it, and we're going to see Lee Evans up against Jamie Kelling. Evans, who helped JK get through.
Well, a tight and tense, topsy-turvy start here at the MODUS Super Series on finals night in Portsmouth. It was Lisa Ashton who took a 3-2 lead. She got a crucial breaker throw. It looked like that she was going to have the darts in the 6th, and she would have had the darts in the 6th, and it might mean that she might have got over the line in a real scrappy game, it must be said, but Conor Heneghan found his way and found a bit of quality and came through by 4 legs to 3. You can see the checkout stat there at this moment in time, and the checkout stats need to improve, you'd think, if either one of them is going to go on and win this week, but they know that, and they will look to try and do that. But it is Conor Heneghan who does have the crucial 2 points to get underway here in Group 1. So we're going to now move on to Group number 2, and that is Lee Evans against Jamie Kelling. Now, both of these two gentlemen made it out of Group B on Friday evening, Jamie Kelling and Lee Evans. It was interesting, actually, between the pair, because even though they did beat a lot of players along the way, it was a crucial moment, in fact, actually, for Jamie Kelling. Jamie Kelling lost his final game of Group B against Matty Dennant, and actually wasn't exactly sure of his place, in fact, here in Group B. But Lee Evans managed to come through and survive match darts against Andreas Harrison, and Lee Evans managed to get the job done. 4 legs to 3 to send him through and to send Jamie Kelling through at the expense of Andreas Harrison, who was here as well in Group A throughout the week. There you can see Lee Evans and Jamie Kelling both taking out Mike Warburton and both beating him there. Jamie Kelling in that game there in particular averaged 107.38 on Friday night. So let's hear it from the pair of them. They both caught up with Henry earlier on.
Lee, Jamie, welcome along to finals night here at the Super Series. Lee, you did Jamie a bit of a favour last night. You actually helped him into finals night by your victory yesterday.
I didn't know I did that, but the only good thing was I knew I was already through, so it just took the pressure off me, which all of it was on Andreas yesterday, which told the tale in the end.
Jamie, did you appreciate that hand of friendship from Lee?
I didn't when he was 3-1 down, but yeah, I did in the end, yeah. I owe him a drink, I think.
You came out the traps flying with that 107 average in your opening match, then won your second. What were you feeling last couple of games?
I was thinking about it. It's as simple as that. I was overthinking it, get one more win, I knew I was through. And in darts, you can't overthink. You've just got to relax and throw. And I was lucky that Lee done me a favour in the end.
And how have you found your week so far, Lee?
It's been a struggle again, but I've actually pulled out some decent darts, which I've put probably about 20 points on my average of what I've been doing the last couple of weeks back at, like, practicing and league games back at home. So I'm actually really pleased with my game.
Well, tonight, very much enemies for the £5,000 first prize. I'll ask both of you the same question. Jamie first, fancy it?
Everyone in that room fancies it. So yeah, everyone in that room fancies it.
Yourself? Silly question, eh?
Always.
Gents, all the best tonight.
Thank you.
Cheers, pal.
Well, don't forget as well that Lee Evans has pedigree. He's already come through a finals night and won it. He was part of Champions Week in Series 1. So will he be able to win yet another finals night, or will it be Jamie Kelling's turn to lift the 5,000 top prize? Who will get a step close to the semi-finals in our first game in Group 2? It's time to find out with Hen and Glenn.
Thanks, Charlotte. We all agreed at the beginning of the night that there was nothing to separate these 6 players. And the name of the game is that winning double. And right now I can sense the frustration of Lisa in the players' lounge. But for Conor, he's delighted to get them points on the board and just relax a little bit more against this game with Matthew Dennant. An intriguing game with Lee and Jamie, as we stated earlier. Lee did Jamie a massive favour in qualification last night, and yeah, the disappointment in Mike Warburton's face as, you know, when he realised that he couldn't qualify despite still having a game to play, was evident.
First leg, it's Lee to throw first.
It wouldn't surprise me if Jamie Kelling won this game. So it's thanks last night, Lee. But there you go. I'm taking the 2 points. I don't know if it becomes too evident in this match, but Lee hasn't been 100% with his arm.
140.
It was a start to 2, but he was absolutely right what he said. When he settled in late last night, he put 20 points on his average, and for me, the spurt was good enough
81.
to say to me that he demonstrated that he can win it tonight. I think he's got all the talent. Reached a quarter-final of the Pro Tour with this year, beating a certain Glenn
60.
Durrant in the first round with a massive 79 average.
Good Harris.
What a boy.
140.
Now, we've seen Jamie Kelling here a heck of a lot of times at the Super Series. We've seen him make finals at the previous venue in Southampton, but it's the first time he's been in a final
100.
here, and I don't want to do him a disservice whatsoever, but with the crowds here, that added element, the £5,000 at stake, this is genuinely
100.
a massive night for him.
So as Henry says, many people have seen Jamie. So I'm fairly new to him, so I can offer my opinion, my constructive
96.
feedback, my analysis, my observation, and just try and say to you, the viewer, just how he's feeling sometimes. But just one thing I want you to say
60.
is just watch his pull back of the dart. Watch the
105.
angle of the dart. It's as if the dart is coming from the ceiling all the way down compared to Lee Evans, whose dart barely deviates. Double 16.
89.
And just watch the way Jamie pulls this dart back and just watch the, can you see the way that dart goes in? Very similar to Richie Parkin, but that makes his treble 20 different because of that reason.
88. Leo Carr 16.
To hold his throat, Lee Evans for double 8. Thankfully, he doesn't seem to be suffering tonight with his arm, but he'll be desperate for this to go in.
8. Jamie O'Carr 32.
Did him a favour last night, and he's just done him a favour again because Jamie did not expect this 32.
Double 8, but the way the
Being
darts
shown on the
stand
first
up,
leg,
that is
Jamie
some dart
Kelling.
to find a way to the bed. And you could tell by the celebration, and I like that from Jamie. He's broke the throw in the first leg, and what does he do? He walks straight back
Second
down
leg,
the middle of the
Jamie to throw
hockey.
first. Game on.
He said, any thoughts last night as he left? I said, Jamie, I said, sometimes when you're disappointed, do it behind the player,
45.
not in front of the player. Can you see what he's doing there? That's just meat and drink for Lee to say, you want to show your player you're focused. And there's that, might be that slight issue that Lee does have. He tells me he's
5.
trying to get it sorted out on Monday, but he's had no excuses. He said, please don't mention it on comms, Glenn. But just for people watching, wondering why sometimes he's just delaying his
55.
throw. And he's putting lots of cream on his arm, as you might be able to see during the game. But for me, he's got the quality in this 6, maybe along with Matty Dennant. Challenge Tour finalist this year. Losing to Jacques Labra, we all got to know this
52.
week. And Scott Williams, who's doing big things at the moment. And a previous Challenge Tour winner as well. So the pedigree's there for Evans.
140.
I do wonder who from here are going to win their tour cards from Q-Score that play in this
140.
competition, because there's a number who you pinpoint and think on one particular day can do it, and maybe there's some that with the
53.
consistency of the 4 days they can definitely go on and do it.
And that's the beauty tonight. You know, it's they may have come second in a group, third in a group, but all of them have just got their moments. There's nothing to split these 6 tonight. If you fancy the bet, you've got a chance with all 6 tonight.
Remember, 18 plus, begambleaware.org. And we did do some tips tonight on Sporty Stuff TV before the
26.
action got underway. And I'll be honest, the first one I got wrong. Lisa Ashton to beat Conor Heneghan at 7-4.
It's because you're useless. Whereas I had Lisa Ashton.
56.
Go on, tell me I'm useless.
You're useless, Glenn. Yeah, but there's a difference. No one in the truck
140.
agreed.
A lovely 140 there from JK. Not breaking down trees, but he's 1-0 up. And a 2-dart combination. And Lee far from his best. You didn't see him last night. Lee just had
45.
an hour
Jamie
of
O'Carr,
absolute
42.
quality. Even when I went to bed last night, I was thinking he could do some damage. But it's Jamie, double 16.
26.
Now that went in and out of the double 8, it looked like,
145.
which is going to be the target he returns for if Evans doesn't take out this 145, because it's still very much makeable now. Treble 15 as the shot doesn't go. And so Kelling will return
93.
for double 8 to
Jamie
open
O'Carr,
up
16.
a 2-0 lead and to back the break up, which he accrued in the opening leg with a hold in this one
Game
and to
shot on the
put him
second
in a
leg,
really
Jeremy
commanding
Kelling.
position in terms of this match.
Lovely guy, Jamie Kelling, a Hampshire county player. He was picked to play today. But because of
Third leg leader through
him
first.
qualifying
Game
tonight,
on.
he was unable to fulfil that. Lovely guy. Had a real bad shoulder injury at the back end of last year, which sort of hindered his progress. Does his little bit for charity as well. Did a 26-mile walk for Macmillans this year, but just a genuinely
85.
softly spoken, pleasant. Is that a word? Just a very classy person he is, and wants to learn.
60.
Been picking my brains a little bit. I just said keep it simple tonight, because when he gets it right, the way them darts go, it's all about the first dart, but Lee's suffering here.
Fun fact, he actually helped me out of a university assignment.
44.
Cheat. That's the perfect dart for Jamie.
75.
And that was so disappointing as a player. And the first one goes in, possibly exactly where he wants it to go. The second one, when it leaves your hands, you think it's in, and it just pips into treble 5. And then you get a bounce out with the last one.
85.
Even though Kelling's 2-0 in front, you just get the sense that if Lee Evans can just go through the gears, he is more than in this game.
Both are playing the C game.
60.
Let's be really honest. You can see the deterioration in both of them yesterday. At this point yesterday, Jamie was averaging 118 in the second leg of his opening game and finished off with a magnificent 107 average
30.
right now. But this first game, 3 people, 2 go through. All you really want is them 2 points. Just changes the psyche
99.
a little bit. And that's why I said just keep it simple. Your opponent will be feeling it a little bit. It's a big night for all of them.
$44.
And you can perhaps understand
100.
Jamie being a little bit nervy for the occasion, but Lee Evans played at Champions Night a few weeks ago, and let me tell you, this place was absolutely rammed to the point where people were being turned away.
Treble 19.
139. Jamie Carl 107.
This makes this 107 just a little bit more difficult. And that 5's not where he wants to be. Be bullseye in the last dart.
Leo Carr 74.
Really disappointing start from both players. Lee needs a spark, a catalyst. He needs a 13 bullseye, you feel. Not sure where he's looking. I think he's just checking it's not in the treble before he stares that bull out.
Game shot on the third leg.
Only
Lee
decent
Evans.
dart that he'd be happy with tonight is the dart for a win. I'd like to see a bit more swagger for him, because he needs something, and there he is just.
Fourth leg, Jamie to throw first. Game on.
Although doesn't his shirt look like the logo of a famous energy
40.
drinks brand, Lee Evans?
Unfortunately, he had to whisper exactly
96.
what it is, but I see what he's saying. I think it's the MDA sign.
Phil Barr's,
96.
I've seen him many a time with that drinks brand on his desk.
Well, I've stolen Matt Edgar's roller cola. What a cheapskate. It's absolutely disgusting.
54.
I was going to say, it doesn't really look appetising, does it?
It's cheap, just like Matt Edgar.
100.
He's not here to defend himself now, but he is in this chair next week. So I will pose the question back because it's only fair.
43.
I'll be the impartial bystander.
265 means Jamie will go down the 19s. This is really poor right now. Nobody's making a statement. I tell you, the 2 people will be really happy right now will be Matthew Dennant and Richie Parkin, because someone can make a real statement tonight. I did talk about it's not about winning it and peaking at the right time, but these are well below where they want to be. Use the 18s.
124.
And the demeanour from both, the frustrations from both is evident. Grit your teeth, guys.
39.
Are they trying too hard now, Glenn?
Yeah, for me, I think Lee has to get that arm going. It's been very evident to me that the longer as the match goes on, the longer the night goes on.
Jamie Carr, 139.
It becomes a better player, Jamie. This is about missed opportunities right now, but what a chance now.
107. Leo Carr, 48.
Just missed that second dart there, but that's unlucky. But 48 for 2-2. It's a good marker. You feel it's a must hit.
16. Jamie Carr, 32.
Just like Lisa, Jamie's getting all the chances in the world. It's about the execution.
Game shot on the fourth leg. Jamie Kelling.
With an average of 73.41, he's leading 3-1. If you'd have said that before he plays someone of the quality of Lee Evans, and if you're saying, what's Glenn talking about? Quality of Lee Evans.
Fifth leg leader throw first. Game on.
Quarterfinalist of the Pro Tour. Challenge Tour winner. 2 finals this year. Played on the Euro Tour, losing to Ian White. This guy's got pedigree. This guy's got quality throughout.
121.
And the thing is, and we've seen it this week, and the averages speak for itself when you look at it.
26.
They're both as capable in the next game, averaging 102.
I mean, they both averaged over 100 yesterday in single games. This is better from me. He's warming up.
1 out of them, 40.
Or is it too late? I just feel like Jamie yesterday, 7 180s after his first 2 games.
95.
What he'd give for one of them right now. Let's have some interaction, guys. MSS Darts on Twitter.
55.
Does a 180. Let's have some conversation. I'm prepared to answer any question tonight about the competition we have in front of you. Get your name on
45.
here. Let's have a chat. Tell me what you feel.
We're also going to reveal tonight, between the semi-finals and the final, the lineup for next week's MODUS Super Series. And let's say it is quite good.
I thought last week's was good. And then when I got the email earlier of who's on next week, I think it's
1 out of them, 40.
For me, it's the strongest yet.
Tots of 3-2.
Good marker.
Game shot on the fifth leg. Lee Evans.
Just evident with that right arm there. Can you see? I tried to get a scoop. I tried to find out for you watching.
Sixth leg, Jamie to throw first. Game on.
It's not stopping me. There's a bit of pain there. I'm dealing with it, but it's not affecting one dart I'm throwing. It probably then becomes a mind
1 out of them, 40.
issue more than I've played with tennis elbow before, and as you go to throw a dart, you're more thinking, when's the pain coming? And that could be how he feels, but when he throws a dart like that, it just pings in.
131.
Another 140 for Jamie, he would be nice, and that's just that is the perfect dart. Go on, follow that, son.
1 out of them, 40.
Finally, this game's come alight.
60.
Especially for Jamie, who's put 10 points on his average. So just keep it simple from here. No histrionics, and that's the worst thing you need. And even more worrying is
44.
He's letting his opponent know how he knows how he feels. He didn't listen to me last night, that's for sure.
Yeah, we can't hide it. They're both struggling out there.
40.
And it's not nice to see.
Perfect dart.
135.
Advantage Kelling. Not a lot Lee can do from here. He'll be disappointed. He's probably the class act in this group. It's just not to be right now.
And so Jamie Kelling, to wrap up a 4-2 victory. It hasn't been pretty, but it has been gritty. And the W is in his name, and importantly, it puts 2 points on the board. It gives him the ultimate opportunity now to try and progress his way into the semi-finals. Jamie Kelling gets the better of Lee Evans by 4 legs to 2. We're heading into the middle matches now in both of our groups. We return to Group 1 after this short break. Lisa Ashton has to win against Matt Dennant.
Welcome back then to the MODUS Super Series here in Portsmouth, and it is finals night, and Jamie Kelling is underway with a victory. He beats Lee Evans by 4 legs to 2. The game itself wasn't pretty. Both players will know that. Both players will know that they need to improve if they're going to have any chance of winning the £5,000 prize this evening. But Jamie Kelling is one step closer to the semi-finals with that victory against Lee Evans. 4 legs to 2. Group 2 taking a back seat because we're now moving on to Group 1, and it is our middle match of the group stages. It is Lisa Ashton against Matty Dennant. Now, for Lisa Ashton, this is where the point of no return, but she's been here before throughout the week. She lost in her first matchup tonight to Conor Heneghan. She was 3-2 up, had the throw in the 6th leg, but in the end, this 15 checkout saw Conor Heneghan complete the comeback, take the break, and then hold for the 4-3 victory. For Matty Dennant, he finished second in Group B, and he is back at finals night as he was in week 4 of season 1 of the MODUS Super Series here in Portsmouth. Let's hear how he's feeling ahead of tonight's matchup. He caught up with Henry.
Matt, welcome to finals night here at the Super Series. How did you find Group B?
Thank you. It was a. We all know coming into the each individual night, there's a challenge ahead of you. You got to play well to come through. So the aim is to just get through. It doesn't matter if you're first, second, or third in the evening session. As long as you get through. Today's a fresh start. Everybody's on zero and everybody starts again.
Played some great stuff in there as well. I mean, the first night you played some scintillating darts.
Yeah, there's a bit messy stuff in there as well, though. So them are the darts that need to be cleaned up. When it's going well, it's all right. It's just you got to start fixing some of the problem legs and following the good legs up, I suppose.
What's the key for you tonight? Because as we know, it's a really, really good field.
It's just another night of darts. We just got to look at it that way. Just, as I say, just it's a fresh start, and we play two games to start with. Try and get through the group, and then straight knockout.
Well, wish you all the best, Matt. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, for Lisa Ashton, she knows that there is no second chances now. If she loses, she is out. Matty Dennant knows that he can afford to lose potentially this game, but he'll want to make sure he wins and get through to the semi-final. So will we know our semi-final lineup from Group 1? It's time to find out. Let's hand back to your commentary team.
Yes, if the crowd are going to play a part tonight for Lisa, it's right now because it's win or bust for her. But right now it's about hitting doubles. I think she'll feel confident, but if it's the first time you've ever seen this guy play, there'll be no fear from him. He just gets on with it. I really like everything about him. And speaking to many people on my social media that feel that Matthew Dennant was the guy to get through tonight. He can blow a bit hot and cold, but when he's hot, he's absolutely fantastic. And he'd be relishing this opportunity of playing Lisa.
You ever seen Matt play before this?
Do you know what he said to me last night? I beg you, don't mention Q skill. So, you know me, I never like to talk about Q skill or being a Premier League champion. I never mention. I'm like Uncle Albert, mate.
Game on.
And despite being sat in the practice room for the first hour of this evening's action, Matt Dennant in his first game of the evening could seal his
60.
own progression through to the next round, the semi-finals, if he can get victory over Lisa. Both Dennant and Heneghan would be on 2 points. Lisa would have played her 2 matches, 95. So the top 2 would have been dealt with. There'd be no need for the abacus in this particular group. And the marathon that is the Super Series really does become a sprint to the line when we get 2 Saturday night players who, in Lisa's case, has played 5 days worth of action. Her whole week can be decided in just a 2-game pool
60.
phase.
Yeah, we've talked about fatigue and being fresh, and it was quite very interesting when you look back at the results last night that the 3 that got
100.
through were the guys who were fresh and making their appearance for the first time, whereas Andreas and Mike Warburton have been playing for 4 nights, 5 nights on the spin.
97.
And they didn't go through, but adrenaline's a wonderful thing, and when Lisa saw all her Lancashire County friends,
93.
I'm sure any nerves or any tiredness she had went out the window, but she needs to deliver, and already she looks like a different player, but we're getting to that part where if anything's been disappointing this week,
Lisa
it's sort of the
108.
setting up of finishers and hitting that outer ring.
Shanghai on 18s.
90.
For the opening leg for Lisa Ashton. And that third dart just went inside the double 18. So she will return for double 9.
95.
Under
Lisa
some pressure.
18.
This is for the opening leg of this crucial match. She has to win. 1 double 4, the combination for a
10.
hold, but it doesn't go.
95.
And you can visually see your disappointment now because it gets to a stage where you're thinking, I just kind of bullseye.
Game
when your
shown
luck
the
is
first
down,
leg.
Lisa
Dennant.
Ashton, and then you look up and you see a 25 bull. And that's the first bit of real quality we've seen tonight. When you talk about Matty Dennant being sat in the players'
Second
lounge
leg
for an
Matt
hour,
through first. Game on.
he wouldn't have been watching anything. That he was feared. And he's probably thinking, if anyone's going to make a statement, it's going to be me. And when that 25 and bull, followed by a maxi, could be the statement he's been looking for.
We discussed the way of going on that 95
100.
during yesterday's session.
Andreas went the same way, didn't he? And someone did mention the fact that by into 20,
58.
you do bring in the 25 and bull. And all the years I've been playing darts, I've never had that sort of philosophy of it. Definitely something I may consider now.
45.
As the stuffing being knocked out of Lisa. She blows her cheeks there. So she can't say she's not having the chances because the doubles have been invited to her. And now her scoring phase has gone. It's
81.
And I think the disappointing thing is the fact that she worked her way back into that match against Conor Heneghan in the end. But the issue was in that match with Conor, 3 from 10 on the doubles.
And already 0 from 3 here. And the percentage over the week
41,
has been well below
161.
High expectations. That leaves 84, so treble 16 is a good dart here because he is covering the treble 20.
125.
What that does is leave a double 18, which Matty actually likes. But for Lisa, it's hope over expectation right now.
95. Might require 36.
He looks at Lisa's score there.
18. Lisa Ukar 139.
Lisa replicate the hard-hitting finish. And also she goes on treble 20 for 139. She'll go downstairs now.
97. Might require 18.
A 2-0 lead and already put him halfway towards qualification for the semi-finals.
No score.
But it doesn't go.
so
And so Ashton returns for the break back, 42 to level us up at 1 apiece. Matt Dennant now burning more darts at a double 6 in this leg. But Ashton
18.
missing opportunities of her own.
Opportunity knocks for Dennant.
Matt Dennant.
And it's 2-0. But the tail of the tape is very, very simple tonight. Nobody is playing the Ray game. Nobody is making a statement. Doubles being missed left, right and centre. Richie Parkin, are you watching?
55.
But this would be the sort of night where a 9 dart is absolutely nailed on.
Well, I've got my words,
96.
I'm ready. Yeah, the highlight of the week for me was Richie Parkin's 170.
60.
Fish, a factory worker hitting the big fish. The headlines don't get much better than that.
Don't get much better than that.
Ba-bum.
59.
Lots watching back home. Getting lots of messages here. The support's been great, but more importantly, this will give more impetus on people wanting to beat the Super Series. The fact that I'm commentating on this now and I'm really telling people how great it is, what an opportunity it is. The wonderful partnership with the ADC that the MODUS Super Series are doing now. And the fantastic work the ADC is doing. The setup and everything is marvellous. And
96.
Really whetted the appetite for people about a route they're going to go down for next year. And maybe the culmination of doing well in that is to be invited here.
Lisa Carr, 150.
3 bulls, Lisa.
Double 15 would have done, as you could have found the second treble 20. And so Dennant returns for 106, and he's just upped it in the scoring phase. Now, can he convert this for 3-0 lead? It would be for the double breaker throw. So Ashton's going to return. She's had darts to win the first 2 legs. Can she pin 72 to take the third and to keep herself in the match at 2-1? Another one of them gives herself 1 dart at double top. She's now had the opportunity to win all 3 legs, and at this juncture, all 3 chances are come and gone.
Double 16 for a 3-0 lead.
Lisa Carr, 40.
And without the fear of repeating myself, double, double, double. Trouble, trouble, trouble.
Might require 32.
That's 9 missed darts at double for the Lancashire Rose, and you don't expect Dennant to pass this particular opportunity by. Double 8.
24.
Ashton gets another go.
This is incredible. So many people will be tuning in watching this. These players have been absolutely magnificent at times this week. In all my years of watching Lisa Ashton, I might be up there as one of her biggest fans. I don't think I've ever seen missed doubles like this, and Matty Dennant just got to gobble this up. The 2 points through to the semi-finals. A 1-1-1.
No score. Lisa, you require 10.
We're both shaking our heads in the commentary box in symmetry. And we know what 5-5 means.
6.
Well, this is just beginning to become
8.
infectious beyond belief.
I might be kicked all over the place as I leave the
No
venue
score.
here, but
Lisa require 4.
is the fact the crowd have come for Lisa to the detriment. Still another chance.
No score. Matt, you require 8.
So,
If you're just joining us right now, we're at the Dog and Duck. And Matthew Dennant wants 4-4. What are these two players feeling?
4. Lisa, you require 4.
I think there's a time and a place when the commentators just sit there, scratch their heads and think, what the heck is going on? But my job is to try and tell you how they're feeling right now.
Game shown in the third leg. Lisa Ashton.
well, there is an ironic laugh, but there's actually a significance to that leg because Dennant could have gone one away if she went on and lost it.
To throw first. Game on.
But you almost are supposed, to a certain extent, Glenn, embarrassed to win a leg like that.
That's a good word. I've
100.
been trying to think of the word which is a good one, and you know, these people have come a long way for their county game this weekend, and the icing on the cake was to come and see, you know, Lisa, who's been an absolute stalwart for Lancashire. I mean, her daughter's in the audience there, and I think embarrass is a good way. You just
58.
feel like that's probably the feeling she hit, is that winning double winning, but it also can be something that just makes her relax. Just let them arms flow.
95.
But for Matty, that could come back and haunt him.
Now, we're talking about the ADC circuit. There's been a number of open events won by the likes of Ricky Palmer, David Williams, Dan Perry. We see Jack Vincent, of course, this week. Sean Matthews and Rob Collins amongst
58.
some of the winners in certain events around the ADC system. We've seen some of them. I'm sure we're going to see some of them some point in the future.
100.
And you can be a part of the Vault Round Robin series, launching in 9 regions across the country, 13 weeks, 9 champions, and the champions of each regional series will be selected to play live with us on Sporty Stuff TV. And you may be playing the likes of Dennant. You may be on the other end of finishes like this on Dennant, like the double 12 for 103. But Ashton will return for the 108.
I'll put my reputation on the line and say, if Lisa has one dart or a double here, she would have pinged it. Told you.
68. Might require 12.
How many chances do you want, Matty Dennant? The hardest double of them all.
9. Lisa require 40.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I've sat here now for 6 days
Game shot on
and
the
not
fourth
witnessed
leg.
darts like
Lisa
this.
Ashton.
But for Lisa, think forward. Use that crowd. Use that energy in there. And I'll never tip you again.
Fifth leg, Lisa to throw first.
I apologise now.
And the 4-time world champion she is, she'll know just get through by any what means possible.
I watched Colin Osborne last week in his semi-final, missed double after double after double.
100.
And then in the final, he barely missed a double. And his interview was absolutely spot on. No 2 games are the same. We're not intending to miss the double. And that's why, you know, if the darts was easy, we'll be seeing 150 averages all the time. And after all them missed doubles, Lisa's gone 140, 140, and Matty's gone 100, 180. Go figure.
100.
Well, Lisa Ashton, following what happened in the previous leg, has put on a run,
96.
the like
Lisa
of which players of her calibre do. 140, 140 ton, 121 after 9, treble 17 for the bullseye won't go. And so Dennant will get his opportunity at 125 for what would be
97.
a pivotal break of throw.
That was always a concern also. She thought she was on 64. Just makes me think a thought process is not right.
Lisa Carr 24.
But the last dart was a treble 20 to leave 3 darts at 24. No messing about now, Lisa. Double 6. And again,
Game shot on the
spraying him around the board,
Lisa
but you'd be delighted to
Ashton.
see that double 3 go in. And a wry smile. You can just feel the energy lifting in the room. They're all desperate for it to win. And Conor Heneghan could play a very big part in this.
First. Game on.
Deciding factor who goes through this group.
Conor Heneghan wants Matt Dennant to win this 4-3 because it would send both himself and Matt into the knockout stages and eliminate Lisa Ashton from the competition.
100.
A win here for Ashton would mean we'd go down to the last game. Now, if it was won by Lisa
93.
by 4 legs to 3 and Matt Dennant beat Conor Heneghan 4-3, where are we going, Glenn?
You promised me no
60.
no stats, no fingers, no toes till at least midnight.
The 9-dart shootout.
Dun, dun, dun.
100.
And speaking of 9-dart shootouts, Lee Shewan is in the audience there. He was with a smile, a grin, and
83.
he was telling me about the last experience. It's nerve-wracking. Good job the way these games are going so far. That it's not on doubles.
134. $94. Mario Kart 74.
So 74 to take us the distance. 1 dart, a double top.
34.
Would have done it for
Lisa
Dennant.
Carr 164.
And can you imagine if this goes in?
100. Mario Kart 40.
Surely, Henry.
Game shot on the 6th leg. Matt Dennant.
Inconceivable. There wasn't going to be another scenario. And so we go down to a 7th and deciding leg. If Lisa wins, it opens the group up for the rest
7th and final leg. Lisa
of the
to throw
matches.
first.
Matt Dennant and
Game on.
Conor Heneghan up next. If that finishes 4-3 in Dennant's favour, if Lisa won this in the deciding leg, as I
95.
say, 9-dart shootout would be on.
$100.
After 2 games in this group, there's a maximum of 14 legs. And guess which leg we're in? We did say this group was going to be tight.
42.
I think the only disappointing thing for me has been the quality. Someone got to stand up
140.
and make a statement in this group. And right now, that looks like it could be Matty Dennant already. Lisa's 100 behind. And with Lisa's darts,
100.
brings her back into the leg, but it's advantage Dennant.
100.
That was the minimum required. Leaves him a finish. You feel Lisa needs a 2 treble combination here. That's not her perfect dart, but she just sits it above. That's exactly what the doctor ordered, Lisa Ashton.
61.
This is getting really exciting.
So Dennant is going to leave it
85.
handy, but
Lisa
Lisa
Carr,
Ashton's going to get the
124.
chance at 1-2-4 to win the match. Triple 18. And so her hopes of progressing through to the semi-finals and her
42.
chances
Mario Kart
of qualifying
76.
for Champions Week are reliant on Matt Dennant missing.
36. Lisa Carr 82.
Wouldn't it just sum darts up in one finish? 82. She's gone for the bull. 2 darts, a double 16. We've seen no quality at all in the outer ring. She needs double 16 to stay in this competition,
50.
and she's gone wide.
Mario Kart 40.
Incredible finish to this game. Matty Dennant, who's spraying doubles all over the place for the match and to go through to the semi-finals. Double 10.
Game
And it's
shot
game
and a
set.
match. Matt
And a
Dennant.
long match to Matty Dennant. He breathes a huge sigh of relief. And it's Matty Dennant and Conor Heneghan who are going to go through from Group 1 tonight. Join us back. Richie Parkin will be making his debut in the final against Jamie Kelling.
Well, we do have our first semi-finalists confirmed here at the MODUS Super Series, and they are Matty Dennant and Conor Heneghan. Again, Lisa Ashton 3-2 up heading into the sixth leg. This time, though, she had a breaker throw. Rather, she didn't have the throw in the sixth leg, rather than the last time when she did. But once again, Matty Dennant coming through and finishing off that game. As you can see, the checkout stats there, not what both would have wanted. And again, it sums up Lisa Ashton's week, really. Her scoring's been very, very good, but her doubling just has not been up to the standard that we know she can play. Matty Dennant, though, winning 4-3 and sending himself and Conor Heneghan through. They will play each other in the next game after this one here coming up for the top of the group. But coming up next is match 4 of our night this evening. It is the second match in Group 2, and it concerns Jamie Kelling and Richie Parkin. Now, Jamie Kelling will be looking to try and improve from his first match tonight, despite not necessarily the best performance that we've seen from him this week. He still managed to take out this 42 checkout to beat Lee Evans by 4 legs to 2. Richie Parkin, though, it's been a dream debut for him. He went undefeated in his first ever session in the MODUS Super Series, going 5 for 5, eventually topping Group C. Well, let's see how he's feeling ahead of finals night. He caught with Henry earlier on.
Richie, welcome to finals night. On debut, you've had a fantastic couple of days here.
Unreal. Yeah, just so pleased to be here, and it's an honour, absolute honour.
The way you played the last couple of days, you didn't look like a debutant. You looked so at home on the stage.
For some reason, I didn't feel nervous. I felt nervous arriving. As soon as I put my toe to the hockey, felt fine. Felt like I was playing a local league game, and it showed.
The crowd in here tonight, does that add a little element for yourself?
Nah, bring it on. Can't wait. I cannot wait.
And for you, is it a little bit of a free roll tonight, coming here with the players that we got in the field and the £5,000 on offer?
Don't bother me. Absolute no pressure. I'm just going to enjoy every single dart I throw, and yeah, bring it on.
Wish you all the best. Richie, good luck.
Thank you.
Let's see if he does enjoy it. Can Kelling keep this undefeated record going here on finals night and make a way into the semi-finals? Or will it be Parkin that remains peak at finals night? Let's see what happens. Henry and Glenn, take it away.
Thank you very much, Jarliff. So the middle match of Group 2 sees the entrance of Richie Parkin to finals night on his debut here at the Super Series. He's been the breakout star of the last couple of days, coming in to a certain extent an unknown quantity in this competition, but taking full advantage of the opportunity that the Super Series provides. He takes on one of the most experienced players in this competition in Jamie Kelling, and he knows that he can go through with a victory in this particular matchup. But what we have seen from the debutant is some quality.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see. The nerves in the comms box has just increased a little bit. I feel like I'm watching like a family member when I see Richie, because he's come through our system in Teesside. We started some Teesside ranking events in 2008. I sort of left around about 2012.
First leg is Jamie to throw first.
He continued with it, and it's been a conveyor belt of players. And unfortunately, the biggest worry I've just noticed there with Lisa leaving, being the biggest worry, is the fact the crowd have gone as well. The huge Lancashire contingent are off for their County A game tomorrow. Very similar actions. Very smooth.
60.
Both use very long points, but the elevation when the flight goes right under the chin. And the best way of being described is as if the dart is coming off the roof and coming all the way down. And when they get the timing right, I stood behind Richie local league the past few weeks, and his throw's been fantastic. Did I think he'd win 5 out of 5 in his open day? I didn't. Did I think he'd hit 180 in the finals night? Absolutely.
And he does this weird quirk on the practice darts
60.
where we saw it on the camera angle there. He goes for the bullseye with every single one of them.
I wonder who told him to do that.
81.
Am I looking at him?
That's it, no credit. The credit is all about that man up there. And what is wonderful is the social media. Everyone in Whitby and Teesside. Just a big hello to Craig Evans as well. Absolute legend. Good old fluff. Everybody, Ben Tyndall,
95.
messages I'm getting from the guys in Whitby. They're all right behind him, and he's been absolutely brilliant and doing our region great.
85.
I might be wrong, but I
Richie
think Adam
Parkin,
Atkinson won
85.
another competition in our area this week. So darts is absolutely, it's a new breed coming through. For Bull.
60.
And
Jamie O'Connor,
Jamie on
155.
155. Richie be expecting to come back. With treble 19. And double 18. 19 for his finish and a half.
117.
That's unlucky there for Jamie Kelling. It's 25 for Richie Parkin. And you feel he needs this to really settle him down. But he started nicely. Double 8. That's a long way, but when they go.
Game shot of the first
and the times when you get a
Richie
flyer
Parkin.
followed by a dart. That's what we call in the trade. Great marker, Richie boy.
Second leg, Richie did
First
go
dart looked
first.
like it
Game
was
on.
in Whitby. He managed to reel in the double
43.
and Parkin takes a lead. Baker throw 1-0.
I had a great conversation this week about, Henry, about how many players that we don't know. The most they do is play down in the pub. And I guess the most common question
28.
I've ever had is, who's the best player you've ever seen? Phil Taylor, Van Gerwen, those you've played against. But mine is a guy called Peter Sill. And he never ever left the northeast to play, barely left Middlesbrough to
60.
play darts. But he could pick up 3 Savoys and have a 30 average. He was that good. And there's lots of Richie Parkins in this country in the MODUS Super Series and the ADC.
180.
We'll find them, hunt them down, bring them here, and attempt to take players on like Jamie Kelling, who's pinging these 180s for fun now.
Although I would say if
140.
you're throwing darts of a Savoy, then you're a silly sausage.
All week I've had this. All week.
95.
We may see the 18s come into it here. 258. He won't like that one though. Probably feels like a game from
42.
the rest of the week with no crowd in there now. It's quite sparse at the back there. But you won't hear the clinking of glasses, people chatting, getting off the chairs.
134.
But there could be the element, I haven't spoke to the guys yet, where there's concentration issues going into the games today. A 140 needed for a 180 would be lovely.
180. Jamie O'Connor, 64.
And without repeating myself, this area of finishes of 52 to 74 tops are
24.
absolutely crucial
Richie
between
O'Connor,
winning
36.
and losing games. But that 180 by Richie Parkin is giving him the chance of this double 18.
Game shot on the second
And he
leg.
hits that with a
Richie
plum.
Parkin.
And what I don't usually see, Henry, is a reaction from Richie Parkin. So to see him fist pumping like that shows you how much this means to him.
Leading 2-0, he's charged up
Third
for the
leg, Jamie to
occasion, a
go
big
first. Game
occasion
on.
for him. And we just wonder whether this was the game that could set the standard tonight.
58.
And Richie Parkin, the last player to take to the hockey, averaging 88, Jamie Kelling 81. And we've seen some up and down bits this evening. It looks as if this
57.
could be the game that lights up the blue touch paper.
No, let's be more honest than that. The darts has not been good enough tonight, but there's a lot to play
96.
for. And what did I say in my interview early doors? You want to be peaking in about an hour and a half, 2 hours' time. You don't win the competition in the first round. Just get through it. So Conor
85.
and Jamie, they got their 2 points on the board and put themselves in a great position. The fantastic darts and massive averages can come later.
96.
And if Parkin could peak, he might be perking at Champions Week. Because the way he's been playing, he could be the player tonight
81.
that gets his way through. He's setting the standard for the night so far.
Everything I've seen this week, when he's setting his own target here, but everything's an
100.
extra notch. Jamie Kelling's another notch. The whole night itself. And right now for Richie, he's loving every second. He's learning. And I can just know the messages in my private messages that this
84.
is inspiring others to
Jamie
do it.
O'Connor, 151.
You touched on a name there as well, Sean Matthews, who's won an ADC competition. There's lots in our region. So many regions of the
96.
ADC. Now we're going to see new names come through. And Jamie Kelling was a new one for me when I last met him. I'll give as much information as I can for the the more north we go. It was great to see Tony Wood here last week.
134, Jamie O'Carr 55.
Tops. 2 10s.
45.
Doesn't go,
Richie
and that
O'Carr,
could
60.
be a telling moment for Jamie Kelling, because Parkin returns for 60. Tops. And
Game shot on the
Parkin is
third
making a
leg. Richie
charge on
Parkin.
finals night. He leads 3-0 in next to no time at all, averaging 88.5, and has the darts after obtaining the double break to
Fourth leg,
win this
Richie
one
to
4-0.
first. Game on.
The averages percentages tonight have been well under par from every single player. Richie Parkin's walked onto the Rocky.
43.
He's had 5 darts at a double. He's hit 3 with a percentage of 60%. Right now, Richie Parkin is looking the best player of the night.
40.
It's as if them doubles have changed to the Champions Pro boards. But for Richie, they're there to be hit.
96.
I'm looking to try and involve as many people as possible tonight. Let's get some discussion, analysis.
140.
That does a 180.
Does that include your clubber this evening?
I put a shirt on. I won't be doing it again, that's for sure. White jeans.
55.
It's pouring down out there. Thought I'd peed myself at one time.
So you're blaming the rain?
41.
Well, it's not my age. I'm not that old yet. Yeah, what a birthday. A double session on Thursday I had. And you know what? I wouldn't have changed it for the world. I've loved it this week to see players up close and personal.
83.
Just to see that guy throwing 3 darts, the Lisa Ashtons, people I'm real big fans of. But also getting to know people like Mike Warburton, the Jamie Kellings of this world.
60.
Conor Heneghan asking me advice on things. It's been wonderful. The kind of things I certainly want to do in the future, that's for sure.
$42.
Disappointing Parkin. You need to do a parallel turn. Concentrate, get back to your fundamentals, because Jamie's not
60.
breaking down any trees right now. You've still got a huge chance. Keep it simple. Above the treble 20. He's using the board well here. That's the perfect dart for him to follow that straight.
96. Jamie O'Carr 160.
Well, this would be
a miracle. I'll finish it for you.
122.
But what
Richie
an
O'Carr,
opportunity,
86.
not only for the victory, but for the legs difference as well. 86, treble 17 now. He's Richie Parkin seen. He admitted during the week he's began to see the finishing line a couple of times. He needs to find out what's best for him, because every double counts right now. Every leg counts, and this double 19 will be squeezing even tighter.
19.
Richie Parkin,
56.
is it your night? Richie Parkin, is it your week? Fat 16. 2 darts at tops for a 4-0 victory. And double 10 for the Whitby man.
46. Jamie O'Carr 19.
But he couldn't reel in the finishing double. And so 2 8s for Jamie Kelling to get to his first leg on the board in this match. There would be a break as well, importantly.
3.
But it doesn't go, and so Parkin
Richie O'Carr,
returns to the
10.
double 5.
This is a round-robin event. You just feel like in
Game
that
shot
double
on the
5,
match,
not
Richie
only is it a
Parkin.
4-0 victory, but it's the legs difference that could come back. But still, Richie Parkin won't be delighted with some elements of the game there, but it's a 4-0 victory. And we move on to Matt Dennant versus Conor Heneghan, with both already through to the semi-final. Join us soon.
Well, is Richie Parkin the man to beat here at the MODUS Super Series tonight on finals night? A 4-0 victory for the man from Whitby has got him into the semi-finals, and he has now beaten Jamie Kelling there 4 legs to 0. 50% checkout ratio on the doubles. You can see there for Jamie Kelling once again. Checkout percentage not his strong point so far tonight, even in his win over Lee Evans. But it is Richie Parkin who does go through. And what that does mean is that if Lee Evans wins that next match against Richie Parkin, it will be Lee Evans who does qualify for the semi-finals. If Richie does win, once again, Jamie Kelling will be hoping for a favour. If Richie does win, it'll be Jamie who will be joining us in the semi-finals. So 3 spots down, 1 to go. We'll find that spot out in a little bit. But let's talk about match number 5. It's our final game in group number 1, and it concerns Matty Dennant and Conor Heneghan. Both of these gentlemen are already through to the semi-finals. Both have beaten Lisa Ashton by 4 legs to 3. We can see that in the last game, Lisa had a chance at double 16 for the match, and to keep her own hopes alive of progressing into Champions Week. Didn't quite get there, and Matty Dennant eventually finished off the game to both send himself and Conor Heneghan through as he finds the double 10 there. So both of them now looking to try and win and get themselves top of Group 1 to get themselves the advantage of throw in the semi-final. Here we go, the final match of Group 1. The Double Ds are back on the call.
Yes, I'm sure Matt and Conor are delighted to hear the fact that they're in the semi-finals, but on the personal note, I don't think they'll be very happy with the game. So this is an opportunity where really it's just about finishing top or second in the group, but more importantly, if they can put some trebles and some big finish and some doubles, it'll all set them up ready for the semi-finals there. So just enjoy the game, lads. Let's see your best, because right now, someone needs to stand up to be counted and say, I'm here, and I want to win this competition badly, and I want that £5,000, and I want to be in Champions Week.
Is the dangled carrot potentially a rhyme or reason as to why we've seen some edgy stuff tonight?
Game on.
Yeah, I could feel the tension even walking in the players' lounge. I think when it's these long days, you know, that this is really cutthroat and one defeat, and you're very much under pressure. And I'm hoping that's a good sign for the rest of this match, because the quality, the absolute quality of the players I've seen at the MODUS Super Series this week has been so impressive. It was a list of players just full of talent. There's people here who haven't qualified who were absolutely magnificent at times. We've seen 100 averages, lots of 100-plus finishes. But tonight, it just hasn't been the same, and they're all feeling it. But it will come. It'll come alive. The players are too good for it not to happen. And I'm just going to sit back and enjoy.
140.
Well, Matt with 2 140s in this opening leg.
56. Matt, your car 161. 93.
We talked a lot about Conor's had a couple of days off. He's a young lad. He could play for 8 hours a day.
Matt, your car 68.
So maybe coming in this fresh tonight. It's just taking time to acclimatise again. With double 4 for Dennant.
60.
But the wars on the outer ring, they continueth. And for Conor, the only thing he shouldn't do here is bust it. I've seen people go for treble 12. I've seen various, but just aim for tops.
140. Matt, your car 8.
I'll put my reputation on the line that no more wars, and this will go in.
No score. Conor, your car.
What was it you were saying about your reputation?
In the gutter with Edgar's.
Game shot on the first leg. Conor Heneghan.
Well, Conor Heneghan gets the opening leg of this one then in 16. 93.94 average. That equates to, for you stats fans out there, 1 out of 1 on the doubles. 1-0 lead against Matt Dennant. And I suppose for these two, the fact that they know they're already through and they know what happened in their first respective games, they've got a freedom in this particular match. I know they're still fighting for top honours in the throw in the semi-finals, but having that comfort blanket of going through, can that allow them to relax and perhaps in turn give them the chance to play their best stuff?
I think it should do, Henry. And already
140.
we're seeing a marked improvement. I think the big disappointment for Matty right now, he can barely hit a double, and it's how much he's going to let that bother him.
135.
I've talked a lot yesterday and the day before that things don't seem to bother Matty Dennant, but if they do, he keeps it to himself. But right now, we're asking someone to put their head above the parapet. And right now, that's Conor Heneghan. Just what this competition you feel needs right now.
Conor Heneghan, 124.
Because these are 6 very, very talented people.
44.
Just a little hope for Matty. 140 he feels. If he can fill it up.
125.
All of a sudden it makes this 80 a little more difficult, but treble 20. So 15 bull. Or double 10.
Game shot
much better, Conor Heneghan. So much better with them doubles going. You feel much better. And what a statistic that is. I didn't think I'd be seeing that tonight. Checkouts 2 out of 2. Percentage 100%.
I'd like Matt to throw first. Game on.
So 2-0 lead for Conor Heneghan, and it does look like they're both relaxed and settled into this evening's proceedings.
140.
Conor Heneghan represented Ireland as a boy. We felt he really began to kick in during lockdown. Very prolific winner on the online games. And he said it really, him and his brother, really helped their games.
57.
And he's been able to, that transition from them bedroom matches to the stage has been pretty proficient for him. And he's really happy
57.
with his game right now. And he has aspirations going to Q School. And he wants that golden ticket of a Pro Tour card. And looking at what I've seen this week,
134.
he can do exactly that.
Heneghan himself on the big fish after 9. Dennant back on 259. And this really is potentially the game that could light up the standard for the rest of the evening, that can set the pace for the rest to follow, because so far there's been
56.
some tension around here. The significance and the importance of qualifying for the Champions Week at the start of February has bared its weight.
140. Conor Heneghan, 114.
Players are now warming up.
$58. Matt Heneghan, 75.
Get a leg on the board. Dennant wants 75. He's going to get 2 at double 12. Along for double 6 for 2-1. Doesn't go. And so Heneghan should from here get 2 darts at tops for a 3-0 lead. The double breaker throw.
36.
What must you feel if you're Conor Heneghan standing behind Lisa Ashton missing double after double? Standing behind Matty Dennant missing double after double.
4. Conor Heneghan, 20.
Seeing double.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. Double 10 for a 3-0 lead.
Game shot on the third leg. Conor Heneghan.
Albeit not so important for Matty, because he's already through the semi-final. You wouldn't expect him or want him to be preparing for that game with a heavy 4-0 victory, but more importantly,
Like Conor to throw first. Game on.
I'm sure backstage you'd be going round the board, double 1, double 2, double 3.
100.
Because he's not going to win this time if he can't hit that outer ring.
Well, this MODUS Super Series is proudly brought to you by MODUS Sports, and also courtesy of MODUS Sports. Next year we will see the World Seniors Darts events take place.
134.
And as things stand, we have a Black Friday weekend sale where you can get up to 25% off all tickets for the Jennings Bet World Seniors Darts Championship and the subsequent Champion of Champions event, which is taking place on Channel 5 on March 25th and 26th. So head over to @SeniorsDarts and dartshot.tv to claim your tickets for that. But Conor Heneghan here is throwing some fantastic stuff, and it's on the cusp of a 4-0 win. If he could take out this 87, 2 darts at double 18, he only needs 1 for an 11 darter to seal a 4-0 victory against Matty Dennant. And so Conor Heneghan will finish top of Group 1, a 98.5 average. The standard has been set for the rest to follow. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, The final game in Group 2 sees Richie Parkin take on Lee Evans.
Well, what a statement that was there from Conor Heneghan here in Portsmouth. He topped Group A on Wednesday, and now he has topped Group 1 on Saturday night. It does mean that for him, he will have the throw in his semi-final after this 4-0 win against Matty Dennant. An excellent performance from Conor Heneghan. There's no doubt about that. There you see a 98.5 average. That's the sort of stuff that we've been seeing him throw much of the week. And you can see that 4 out of 6 on the checkouts, including the 87 out shot to win the fourth leg in 11 darts. So very good stuff there from Conor Heneghan. He has managed to get himself through, and he will be the top player in Group 1. He will have the throw in his semi-final. The big question, though, is who will he play? Will he be playing Lee Evans? Will he be playing Richie Parkin? Will he be playing Jamie Kelling? We're going to find out in our last group match of the night between Richie Parkin and Lee Evans. Now, Richie Parkin, before that game, actually had produced the performance of the night so far in Group 2. He managed to get himself a 4-0 victory over Jamie Kelling there on that double 5, and it sent him through into the finals. Now, he just needs 2 legs in this game to top the group, and any win for Lee Evans will see him into the semi-finals at the expense of Jamie Kelling. So, will Lee Evans be able to take his chance? Will Kelling qualify for the semi-finals through the back door like he did for finals night? It's time to find out.
Job done for Richie Parkin so far. He's already in the semi-finals. Knowing Richie probably won't even realise that he's just got focusing on just winning games right now. For Lee Evans, a well below performance against Jamie Kelling in the first game, but my job as a pundit, I can tell you that he probably has the the most pedigree out of all 6 players tonight, barring Lisa. And if he plays anywhere near his best, it'll be much of a match for Richie Parkin. But it's great to hear so many French people during the week were messaging me, tell me a lot about Jacques Labre. But right now, the messages are coming from one place and one place only. Whitby. Keep them coming.
First flag, Richie to throw
North East
first.
are taking over, aren't they?
Game on.
I had one message simply saying Paul Williams. Don't forget Paul Williams, Glenn. Unbelievable player. Carl Hamilton, another one who's been in touch.
83.
As Henry nods his head. And this is the quality I've seen with him. Sorry, Henry. It's just he's got this bullet of an arm. That when it goes, there was moments yesterday that I'm going to change your mind. I'm not going to tip Lisa to win it. Apologies, Lisa. I'm going to tip
58.
Lee Evans to win it. And thankfully, for Lee, I did just that.
You've had more tips than the waiter, Glenn.
None of them have been right.
60.
Poetry in motion. Beautiful darts there. Lee comes back with his own. With his own Maxi. This is the game we've been waiting for all night. 180. Minimum a single treble, and the way that first one is sat.
44.
They
Leo
just use
Carl
the 19s.
121.
Advantage Evans. And a match he has to win.
And how many times have we said it this week where one game can just set the standard for another, and
85.
maybe that first couple of games set the
136.
tone for the night thus far, but the last one could be setting the tone for what we're going to see going forward. Lee Evans staring
96.
a break
Leo
of
Carl
throw here
36.
if he can take out the double 18 for 1-0 lead to break Parkin.
That's a marker. That's unlucky.
18. Richie McCall, 40.
And that's the trend continuing. And maybe you could say only Richie Parkin seems to be getting his doubles tonight.
Game shot on the first leg. Richie Parkin.
Shakes his head. People don't seem to want to beat him. Players don't seem to want to get over their finishing line tonight. He's just quietly but effectively getting on
Second
with
leg
his
leader
job.
throw first. Game on.
Sometimes that's all you've got to do is just get on with it.
96.
Get onto the job in hand. Take to the hockey. Take anything as it comes.
We felt that the winner this week,
60.
Henry, didn't we, was someone who was going to come through the pack, who was maybe just a little bit quiet during the week, but come alive on finals night. But to be fair, the star performer of the week has been Richie
96.
Parkin. And once again tonight, with a 4-0 under his belt already, and he's back in that treble 20 bed. He's the standout performer tonight.
Talking about
125.
standout performers, I'm going to tease it here. We're going to reveal the lineup for week 6 in the not too distant
59.
future. Now, it is tasty.
It's a Champions Week format for me. It's I was just looking, great player, fabulous player. He can win it.
135.
So make sure you're tuning in next week. You may want to put it on silent because you've got Matt Edgar in the comms box. Apologies to all for that.
And you've got me, I know. Scraping down the bell.
81.
However, you can be here next Saturday night as well for this fantastic lineup, which we cannot wait to reveal. Dartshop.tv, and trust me, when you find out who's playing, you will
28.
want to be here.
$78. Richie McCall, 153.
So again, it's going a little bit messy. Treble 19. double eight.
137.
So it's a job
Lee
done.
91.
It's all about time in this game. And that setup makes Lee Evans think, and that's not a 88. He's got two real options, treble 20 or treble 16. What a dart that is for tops as Richie Parkin
71.
nods his head in
Richie
appreciation.
16.
But for his sixth leg on the spin tonight, it's double eight.
No score. Lee O'Connor
That's
20.
the other side of the wire, and so Lee Evans returns for double 10 to level us up at one apiece. It'd be a pair of throws to kick off this match. Can work with that. He has to move across though.
Game
And
show on
finds the
second
double.
leg.
And Richie Parkin
Lee Evans.
had his opportunity there, bust the double eight, and Lee Evans takes full advantage of the opportunity. 1-1.
I heard a massive groan when Richie missed that double eight. I thought it was from Richie Parkin.
Third leg, Richie to throw first. Game on.
But I think it was from Jamie Kelling. What an angle that is.
100.
Super darts. Just keep it simple. Because this guy, when he gets going, can bang a treble in like that. And usually, they follow.
140.
Good darts, Lee Evans.
And Lee Evans is the type of player that maybe on a night like tonight can be consistent enough
45.
to go through the gears in the respective matches.
Well, it was about now that he kicked in, didn't he, last night? And he just went through a phase where
43.
we all could see exactly what he was. He wasn't suffering as much with his arm. But for Richie right now, it's all for the first time it's going to be quiet. What he'd give for a max on that wonderful angle there. As you can see his darts going in.
140.
If you can see, Lee's darts are a lot flatter as it enters the ball, but it's the same target
140.
and exactly the same score. He did this last time on 216 and hit a max.
180.
He'll be looking to leave 216 again, that's for sure. All Lee can do is set it up and put some pressure on it.
82.
But it's
Richie
Parkin
McCall, 36.
for the lead. Double 18, a double he favours.
Game shot on the third
And a
leg.
double he
Richie
nails.
Parkin. Fourth leg leader throw first.
So Evans
Game on.
with the darts in leg 4 of this game.
$140.
And just a reminder of that scenario, because Richie Parkin is 2-1 up, courtesy of that 13 darter, he will top the group. So he's going to throw first in the
140.
first semi-final against Matt Dennant. So Conor Heneghan, we know, will be throwing first in the second semi-final. What we're going to try and find out here is who he's going to face. With darts like that, it was very likely it's going to be Lee Evans, who has taken and wrestled complete control of this leg with the darts to level us up at 2-2 and effectively
45.
be a best of 3 to complete our final 4 here in week 5 at the Super Series.
And the messages are coming through from Whitby Sill. Big shout out to Jane Smith,
59.
who won the Whitby Ladies Singles this year with my darts. And then puts in brackets, the only time your darts have won a game this year. The cheek. Graham Usher.
Leocar
I was
122.
expecting that you're doing a great job in comms. Glenn is putting please when I'm there. Glenn, don't tip me. The cheek of these people.
82.
Welcome to the world of punditry, Glenn.
And Richie's gone a bit missing in this leg. I wonder if he knew we needed the 2 legs, because sometimes
Leocar 40.
when you take off the afterburners, the focus, the drive, it all go a bit stale. But for Jamie Kelling next door, he's praying for a Richie Parkin victory. That's a good marker. For double 10.
Game shot on the fourth
Parity
leg. Lee Evans.
2-2. Game on. Best of 3.
It was like one of those balls that were teased into the penalty area in a football game that just slides its way into the bottom left-hand corner. That was exactly what happened from
Game on.
Lee Evans' perspective. Just to clarify then, the semi-final scenario, we can confirm the second semi-final is going to be between Richie Parkin and
100.
Matt Dennant. So Parkin, Dennant, second semi-final. Parkin have the advantage of throw. Conor Heneghan will be in the first semi-final. He'll be throwing first against
96.
question mark.
Do you think Conor won't care who he plays? Or do you think he'll have a fancy over Evans or Kelling?
93.
To be honest, the way tonight's gone, I don't think it's worth having a preference, because at any one moment, any of them could flick into gear. And to be fair, with the last couple of games they have.
41.
But you still think that somewhere someone wants to and feels as if they can still put in a big performance.
Yes, we were spoilt last night, weren't we? We've had the
96.
record books out this week at times. I remember Andreas Harrison 3-0 up, averaging 123. We saw that unbelievable performance from Jamie Kelling, first game of last night.
140.
But tonight, it's just about getting to that winning line. And right now, it's Richie Parkin who has the ascendancy. And another one on the 200 way, setting it up very, very nicely.
100.
Lee Evans will be looking for a 2 treble visit here. He's 159, I think. Well, he's just taking the odd number off, but
Richie
not too effective.
112.
The 3-2 lead. Well, that is still on. Treble 19 would leave the bullseye for 3-2 lead.
70.
Doesn't go, and there's only one way Evans can go for the 156. One of only 6 finishes on the dartboard where you can only go one way for it.
Speaking of a Henry pun, Rich used to work in it. Finish this leg of a Dracula experience in Whitby. Over to you. Double 16. Double 8 for a 3-2 lead. Big dart. Jimmy Kelling's thinking next door. Come on.
34. Leo Carr 89.
If I was a newspaper headline writer, today would be about missed doubles. There was 70 left. That leaves the bull. How's your luck?
64. Richie O'Carr 8.
And the endemic goes on. This leg goes on.
No
and
score.
on.
Leo Carr 25.
And Evans returns, and this could be a pivotal moment, because this would be for a break of throw for 3-2, and to give him the darts to qualify for the semi-finals. Double 8. Two 4s. Huge dart incoming. Parkin's missed a plethora in this
21.
target, and Evans has
Richie
missed one as
O'Carr,
well.
8.
This game never ceases to amaze me. Oh.
No score. Leo Carr 4.
Me and Henry look at each other. Do we say to this? I was going to get through that.
Game shot on the 5th leg. Lee Evans.
The dart of the match. Quite simply, I thought that was virtually impossible to go through. And poor Jamie Kelling is going through the ringer next
6 leg
door.
leader through first.
You've got to make Lee Evans now a huge favourite, especially the fact he's got the darts. And for the first time this week, Richie Parkin has gone a bit quiet.
Now, is Lee Evans perhaps playing 4D chess in front of our eyes? Because last night, Lee Evans, courtesy of a victory, sent Jamie Kelling through. Lee Evans is in a situation now where he could eliminate Kelling from the contest.
79.
take the Grand Slam all over this, isn't it?
$27. $95.
Reminder that after this game, Glenn will be heading up to the balcony to join Jarla Viton to look ahead at the semi-finals for tonight and reflect upon what we've seen, not just tonight, but this week.
58.
And then we'll get into the semi-finals. And then between the semis and the final, you'll know who'll be in week 6. And we'll be able to reveal the secret to the world.
Yeah, my analysis is quite simple so far. After a weeks of, at times, unbelievable darts. 180s for fun. High scoring like the best. Double hitting with quality. Tonight is just full of tension, nerves, disappointment, lows.
130.
But for Richie Parkin, he just plods on in this match. He's looking for 3-3. And as I walk up, I'll probably be bumping into Jamie Kelling, who's probably at this moment not watching this game.
Tops are Parkin, big dart.
Game shot on the 6th leg, Richie Parkin.
And so Group 2 will go down to one deciding final leg where Richie Parkin has the darts. If he wins it, Jamie Kelling will head through to the semi-final to take on Conor Heneghan. If Lee Evans wins it, it will be Evs himself taking on Hino in the semi-final and a spot in the final for £5,000. There's also financial implications on this leg of darts in terms of if you can get in and get out of the particular group as well, because there is bonuses depending on finishing in the group stage or heading through to the semi-finals of the competition as well. £500 for reaching tonight's final. It does jump up to 1,250 if you can make it to the semi-finals. £11,000 worth of prize money is at play this evening. 2.5 for the runner-up, and of course, as we know, the winner will get £5,000 and a place at Champions Week.
100.
Plenty of fish goujons for Richie Parkin at the Magpie tomorrow night. Cracking money.
58.
Lovely opportunities for these players. Well, 3 or 5 is a potential where 18s was his first dart. I just think the way he's playing right now, the steady ton, because Richie's scoring boots have gone. 58, 140, 58 so far. That's a slider.
41.
Advantage Evans then in this deciding leg. 6 darts at 204 to get the job done. And that is some way to start. The bullseye was the route.
He's been fantastic. If he's done something really good tonight, Richie, when he's been round about that 200 mark, his setup plays have been absolutely unbelievable. First really exciting moment of the night. Lee Evans, if this 100 goes in, he's in the semi-finals.
Well, I think we're just having a little bit of a situation here. So we're going to head back into the commentary box. It's not obviously the best of times, but sometimes these things happen. So, Glenn, let's reflect on what we have seen in the group stages so far as we reach a pivotal point. And Jamie Kelling is probably sat here. Probably not sat, probably up and down, wondering what on earth's going to happen.
This night's everything. But what I would say is every player's had their opportunities tonight. They can't blame someone else for hitting a double. But this is the most exciting, pivotal moment of the night. 100 finish. You feel he needs it with Richie on. And I think he knows the situation right now.
45.
Jamie Kelling right now is the biggest Richie Parkin fan in the world. Richie Parkin for 2 out of 2.
Game shot on the
24.
match, Richie Parkin.
In a match that lacks quality at times, it's Richie Parkin who continues to excel throughout the week. And he'll be in the second semi-final of the night. It's au revoir to Lee Evans. Join us back soon.
This is the MODUS Super Series. $180.
And you can join us next Saturday here at the MODUS Super Series in Portsmouth. Just go to dartshop.tv, get your free complimentary ticket right now and be a part of the Super Series crowd when we crown our next finalist into Champions Week. But before we do that, Glenn Dennant has joined us back up here on the balcony. It's been an interesting night, Glenn, here in this finals night of week 5. It seems to be a bit of an up and down night, but it looks like to me as well that some players are starting now to rise to the top and they're starting to get back to the levels we've seen throughout the week.
I mean, my job is to commentate, to be a pundit, and I would say it's been quite below average from the players because you've got to remember they play for an awful lot. I realise that how big this is back at home right now for Richie. I mean, my phone's going wild. You know, even local media and everyone are involved, and the feeling up there. The prize is enormous. The opportunities are humongous. So I've got a feeling the missed doubles won't continue for much longer. 4 superb players in these semi-finals, and it's game on now.
Yeah, obviously, what's quite interesting about that is the fact that every player tonight seems to have had their chances, and 4 of them have taken it, 2 of them haven't.
Yeah, nobody can complain because it's been in their hands, and there'll be huge disappointments as people are going home. But right now, the right 4 people are in there.
Yeah, let's talk about the second semi-final first, because obviously our first semi-final was about to get going. But we'll talk about our second semi-final first, and that's Richie Parkin against Matty Dennant. Now, we've been waxing lyrical about Richie Parkin throughout the entire week, and obviously we know the history that you have with Matty Dennant. This is a proper on the fence for you on this one, surely, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to keep my emotions in check and be as impartial as I can, and it's just apt that he's playing Matty Dennant. You know, both players have had a massive influence in my life for one reason or the other, but I wish them both the best of luck.
And we talk about this first semi-final, which is just warming up behind us, and that is Conor Heneghan against Jamie Kelling. Conor Heneghan seems to be starting to really make his move a little bit at this point. But what I find quite interesting, of course, is the fact that Jamie Kelling, he's qualified twice now through the back door. And as Dennis Priestley once said, if your name's on pot, lad.
And I've said that a few times tonight, you know, sometimes when you're stood behind someone, miss doubles, is it my time? Is it my night? Hopefully, that's what he's thinking, and not thinking of the missed doubles that he's had himself.
Well, we're going to get on to it now. We are down to 4. Who will make the final? Our first semi-final is about to get underway. It's Conor Heneghan against Jamie Kelling, and Henry Deacon is over to you.
Thank you very much indeed, Jarlath. So the first semi-final sees Conor Heneghan take on Jamie Kelling. Jamie Kelling, who has been through the mill at the MODUS Super Series this week, as we have a little bit of a microphone moment. It's always one of those comical moments in a night, but it always happens. But anyway, Jamie Kelling against Conor Heneghan is our first semi-final taking place here. Heneghan getting through Group A earlier on this week. He was the winner of that on legs difference, but Jamie Kelling really has had some week this week. He's had to qualify twice, relying on Lee Evans's results, and it just has been an incredible week for him. And as Jarlath rightly mentioned on the balcony, if your name's on the pot, your name is on the pot.
Come on.
Would it be JK? Would it be Hino? Who's going to be the darty hero, and who's going to claim the first place in the final? As Glenn Dennant joins me back in the commentary box.
Music to my ears, a 180 as I sit down. The competition starts. The competition starts right now.
140.
Let's see the best of you, the best top 4 players here. A wonderful prize on offer. And Hino.
140.
Moves his paperwork to the section saying 9 darter. What a wonderful start
90.
either way. You feel just what this competition needs right now, Henry.
Well, now we get down to the
65.
simplest part of the week. Knockout darts. Win and you're in. Lose and you are heading home.
And that might be the reason why they both look settled
58.
now.
Conor Heneghan,
None of this thinking, what if
116.
just get to the finishing line? And as I've said all week, sprint through it.
40.
Jamie Kelling's got an outside chance now. You've got to favour Conor. But that score of 40 means another treble 20.
95. Conor Heneghan, 76.
I don't know about you, but I fancy this.
You might be right in thinking so. Conor Heneghan.
36. Jamie
But
Heneghan,
Kelling has a
118.
sniff at this 118, and for all of Conor Heneghan scoring brilliant, he may find himself behind if Kelling can pin
78.
tops, but that first
Conor
dart
Heneghan,
was just a bit
40.
awkward.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. Conor steps up for tops. Double 10's been good for him this week. And that double 5, the
Games from the
trusted
first
double
flag.
5.
Conor
And if you've been
Heneghan.
watching all week, that double 5 has been the saviour for many players, including Conor. And once again, that's exactly what the situation is, and Jamie would be frustrated there, but you're
Second leg, Jamie to throw
absolutely
first. Game on.
spot on with your analysis there. The way his darts sit up, and it's a very long dart. It did make that treble
81.
20, 18, and then the tops was very, very difficult after that. Advantage Heneghan.
96.
One of those players who really has come of age in this competition, and after what happened last time, he put in some brilliant performances. He missed
100.
out twice in groups where he should have got out of and failed to qualify for Saturday night. What kind of redemption mission would it be for him to come back the next
100.
time, not just make the final, but win the final?
Well, he's talked to me that this is exactly why he's here, and he feels his game at the moment
60.
exactly where it wants to be to win this competition. And after, like I said, nobody stood out tonight, so he'd be thinking, if I just play my A game, even B plus game, I can win this, and that's
162.
absolutely fantastic darts. But
100.
I'm also
Conor Heneghan,
liking what I'm seeing from Jamie.
143.
All the ingredients are going in the pot because this looks good. That's unlucky.
90. Jamie Heneghan, 160.
So this 160 for Kelling, that would have been a moment of divine inspiration, and what it looks like now is Conor Heneghan is going to look set fair for
78.
that break of
Conor
throw.
Heneghan, 53.
Just follow that.
33. Jamie Heneghan, 82.
The frustration continues, but for Jamie, what a dart that is. 2 darts, a double 16. There's the marker.
66.
The execution
Conor
of these
Heneghan,
doubles
20.
once again just adds to the excitement and the tension.
Ten. Jamie Heneghan, 16.
Maybe Jarlath
Game
is
shot
right.
of the second leg. Jamie
Talk to me
Kelling.
about Jamie. I wonder if he's thinking that maybe he shouldn't have qualified last night. He's had a couple of opportunities where maybe tonight, if Richie Parkin hadn't won, he wouldn't have qualified again.
Third leg, Conor to throw first. Game
And
on.
he'd done an appalling Yorkshire accent of, if you name on trophy, I wonder if he's thinking that way.
59.
It could just be the case.
I won't show it to Paul Hinks, promise.
140.
I've just had a meal with Paul. He ordered a latte.
59.
Well, Jamie Kelling is actually one of the nicest people on the circuit, but you could be forgiven for thinking that he has no heart whatsoever. Lee Evans allowing him a spot in
140.
finals night, and what does he do? He knocks him out.
Have to be ruthless in this game.
140.
This is much better darts all round. If they can just sort the doubles out, the winner's going to come from that person who has the best percentage
55.
record. And let's go back to Thursday night, Henry, when you interviewed Jamie Kelling, and he said the winner this week will be the one with the best checkout percentage average.
85.
He was correct.
I have to be careful to see whether he makes any more good statements like that, because our jobs might be in peril.
158.
Well, with my analysis this week, Roland Rat could do my job. That was unlucky. If you just need to follow that through there. Well, that's sensible. He's just resetting, making sure he's got his match up. But treble 17 should be the shot.
92. Jamie Carr 108.
I've seen this 108 go many ways, Henry. And 90, this is the preferred route for so many. At least 70, so treble 18.
39. Conor Heneghan 66.
So for a 2-1 lead, gonna get one dart. Tops is the preferred route for Heneghan. And that is why. And a war of come on from Conor. You can see what that meant to him. Averaging 82.9. He knows he's got levels above that. Both players have got levels above. Kelling averaging 85 after leg 3. And he's just geeing himself up. And tonight, more than most nights that we've seen from Heneghan here at the Super Series, there is a real built-up emotion. There's something
81.
fired up in his belly.
And I think it's fair to say, I mean, I went back to my nephew Jamie Durden. Tell me what you know about Conor Heneghan.
96.
And I don't want to say this to Jamie because I don't want to give him a big head, but he said for him, looking at the group this week, it'll be Conor that comes through and wins it.
140.
I thought it was very disrespectful for our friend Richie Parkin, but no, I'm joking aside there. He said that Conor was the class act. Now I've seen him up close and personal.
43.
Got to know him as well. What you know what I've really enjoyed is at the end of the competition, they're sort of sitting around and most of them just want a little chat. What's been your thoughts, Glenn? How
56.
do you think I've thrown? I mean, Conor's talked to me about Q school. How does he recommend he prepares for it? It's been really nice, and to see them win this $5 grand prize, to see them go to Champions Week, just to see people progress, nice people, fresh faces, going to be new to so many people.
57.
But the talent's there. The MODUS Super Series is doing a wonderful job right now for a pathway for amateur players. And I've got one of them messaging me now. Sean Matthews, who enjoyed his name being called out.
Conor Heneghan 167.
He said he'd give anything to be invited here. And the job he's done in the ADC right now, we'll be seeing Sean Matthews here next year for sure.
131. Jamie Heneghan 132.
Excellent setup from Heneghan, which means it's 132 for Kelling. Has to go. Treble 19, but the bullseye's completely obscured.
64.
And so Heneghan returns
Conor
for double
Heneghan
18.
36.
Will break a throw, a 3-1 lead, and he would have the darts for the final. Double 9. Big dart incoming.
18. Jamie Heneghan 68.
Once again, didn't expect that. Jamie Kelling. Maybe Jarlath is right. One dart, never in this leg.
Game shot on the fourth.
He is now.
Jamie Kelling.
And Jamie Kelling is opportunist in chief this week.
This leg coming through first.
I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. When you get chances, you've got to take them. And that is exactly what he's doing.
60.
Both players can raise their stakes above 81. We know they're more than capable of that. But he's taking every chance he takes.
And sometimes
40.
when you've been the better player, and probably Conor thinks during this game he has, and you look at the scoreboard of 2 each, then you begin to think, well, Jamie has yet to kick in yet. So I'm going to be in real trouble if he starts banging the 180s he was last night.
85.
And just the way that first dart set, I expected he was going to fill that up. Absolutely nothing to separate these two right now.
41. 85.
Keeps pushing one of them darts into the 5. Is that going to hurt?
57.
Just feel it, can't you, with this 2-2. You get the feeling whoever wins this leg. And when it's 2-2, when you know the importance of it, that trebles the shrink in front of your eyes. And all of a sudden, that type of shot is gold dust. And another one of them.
140.
He'll accept that 107 he'll feel confident with. Jamie, you keep doing that with your first dart.
99. Conor Heneghan 107.
So Heneghan with first poke at the 107. You feel it's an important pressure play. This leg's been a bit of a stalemate. Both have kind of cancelled each other
83.
out. Leaves herself on double 12. Kelling 130. You sense has to go. This would be for a break and a 3-2 lead. One dart at the bull.
99.
Doesn't go.
Conor
So
Heneghan
Heneghan will
24.
get his chance to go in a leg of the final.
Once again, I was thinking Jarlath there, thinking Glenn, I
Game
was
shot on the
right.
fifth leg. Conor
I
Heneghan.
really fancied that bull. Love the reaction there from Conor. MODUS Super Series doesn't mean anything, does it? Yes, it does. It's one of the best competitions now in amateur darts. And his
Six leg
reaction
Jamie
there
to
shows you how
first.
much
Game
it
on.
means to these guys. The eyes on the prize. They all want to be a Champions Week. An opportunity to be the next
80.
Conor Whitehead and a 20 grand winner with this now prestigious title.
I don't think I've ever seen Conor Heneghan this pumped up.
96.
I love it. I'm just looking at what gets the best out of people. And when a game can go still, these floaty players, the Richie Parkins, the Jamie Kellings.
140.
But I like a puncher. Lee Evans did it yesterday. And the way this guy lets go of a dart, he needs that adrenaline running through him to get the best from him.
120.
And when it can go quiet.
Conor trying to gain an extra 5 points. You're not going to get away with it with Hinksy.
Not with Hinksy. 127 game.
115.
Hit a single 7, maybe.
That was a wonderful moment, wasn't it? The Phil Taylor, Michael Van Gerwen.
45.
127. And game.
$60.
It's got 3-3 all over it now. 240. 2 trebles, please.
95. Jamie Heneghan 106.
Right, it's the 6th leg we're focusing on now, and that's a bit of a disaster dart that for Jamie Kelling, and so it does open up
31.
the opportunity for Conor Heneghan to see himself into the final. Triple 15 doesn't go, and so Jamie Kelling comes back for 75 to take us to a decider in our first semi-final.
He was all over this, but he's only going to get 1 dart at tops. Well, that's a flyer. Double 2.
73. Conor Heneghan 60.
And is that the last dart Jamie Kelling throws in this match? Because Heneghan returns tops now with 4-2 victory.
40.
But Heneghan misses his chance.
Any advice for Jamie right now? Go big with your first.
Game shot on the 6th leg.
It will
Jamie
drop
Kelling.
in with nerves. It's 3-3. What we could give for a 12 darter right now. But it's Conor who's got the darts, which makes him a huge
final leg.
favourite.
Conor to throw first. Game on.
As Jarlath rightly said, that guy has got more lives than a cat.
140.
Jamie Kelling looks up to the gods here at the church. Will he be saying his last prayers in this competition? The man who's been
100.
digging his way through the well time and time and time again has got to pull out something from the fire, but his opponent Conor Heneghan is finding something
140.
inspired. Back-to-back 140s in a deciding leg with the darts. Put yourself in such a fruitful position, but how about this for a riposte?
180.
This is what the night needed. 180 there. All of a sudden, Conor's running away with it with 2 140s.
34.
And that's the effect it can do when you hear the dulcet tone of the 180 from Paul Hinks. But Jamie, this is your chance. Keep it straight and easy. What a last 2 darts that is. 96 after 9 darts. Conor's now hoping, but 3 treble 19s would be nice. That would leave double 8.
171.
What an insane, by far the
Jamie
best
Heneghan,
leg of darts
96.
tonight. We've seen this effort 96 all week. Is he going to go double-double? Double 8 for the match. An
Game
extraordinary
shot and
match. An extraordinary
Kelling.
finish. And an unbelievable feeling for Jamie Kelling right now. The man with 9 lives is going to be in the final. I don't think he can quite believe what's going on right now. Incredible finish. Next up, Richie Parkin, Matty Dennant to see who will join Jamie Kelling in the final.
If it's your night, it's your night, and it might just be Jamie Kelling's night. He has qualified through the back door twice in this MODUS Super Series this week. Lee Evans winning against Andreas Harrison on Friday night got him through into finals night. The Richie Parkin win sent him through into the semi-finals. He survived match darts against Conor Heneghan, and now he is in the final. He wins 4-3 against Conor Heneghan. A fantastic leg of darts in the seventh. Both started off brilliantly, left 2-2-1 after 6, and it was a 12-darter for Jamie Kelling on double eights to take out the victory. 4-3 with that 96 check out there to get the job done. Conor Heneghan, of course, missing match darts in leg 6, and once again, the Group A winner very often in this format doesn't seem to win the day, and it happens again. But Jamie Kelling will be counting his lucky stars, and as we said before the game, as Dennis Priestley, the famous man, once said, if your name is on the pot, your name is on the pot. The big question, though, is can he win that pot in the final? We're going to find out shortly, but first of all, we need to find out who's actually going to be playing him, and it's going to be Richie Parkin against Matty Dennant. That's going to be the second semi-final. Richie Parkin has come through both of his games tonight with a victory, winning 4-0 against Jamie Kelling and then 4-3 against Lee Evans. That actually sent Jamie Kelling into the final. Matty Dennant, though, that 90 shot there managed to help him beat Lisa Ashton by 4 legs to 3. That saw him into the semi-final, despite that 4-0 loss to Conor Heneghan in his last game. So, who will join Kelling in the final? Will it be Richie Parkin or Matty Dennant? Could try to work out there. Couldn't we see it on the screen? Henry Glenn, help me out here, please.
Yes, it's darts is all about opportunities, and these are the times. both players will be practicing a couple of nights a week, and it's all for moments like this. They probably feel like if they can get through this game, Jamie Kelling is potentially a player they can beat. But you can see they look both relaxed. Eyes are on the prize. And who's the £5 going to?
Well, it's only 3 men now that can possibly do it. Jamie Kelling being one of them, then he's got a 50% chance of doing it. Richie Parkin and Matt Dennant playing our second semi-final to see who is going to face JK in the final. An incredible week for him. It's also been an incredible week for Richie Parkin, who, as you can see there, uses all of his practice darts on the bullseye.
Why change anything at the moment? It's worth from terrible brief of being superstitious, those dart players. And if it's worked for him so far, I just can't imagine Matty Dennant being below par one more time. I think Richie Parkin will need to step up another gear, because Matty Dennant has gears galore. And right now, tonight, he's reached the semi-finals in only 3rd gear. Let's see how he's feeling right now.
81.
Definitely clash of styles. Very punchy. Is Matty. Richie, we've talked about very much like a floater. But in the end, we're all looking at the same targets.
Darts a simple game. Darts players make it.
It's what's between your ears half the time. Just listening to your body. Just remind yourself how good you are. And Richie's got to take him back to Thursday, Friday, where probably the best 2 days of his darting life. You know, to hear the passion and desire and the emotion in his voice in a lot of the interviews. This is a real moment for him at 37. And I'm not saying me, and please apologise, but I didn't travel to my first tournament until I was 41-year-old. Went to the Dutch Open in 2011. There's Richie Parkin at 37. Is this the moment where he decides, I'm going to make some sacrifices?
100. Richie
by hook or by crook.
147.
I'm going to make some strides in this game. Treble 17.
87. Matt Yokar 137.
Couple of options for 137. But he'll go to maybe the 18s or the 19s, so he'll just set it up with a 1 darter.
Richie Yokar 60.
Richie Parkin's been very good on this 60, which is surprising, because like Jamie Kelling, he will really cover that bed, so he moves across the hockey. And
Game shot on the first leg, Richie Parkin.
When you're feeling darts, he'd be walking back there now, feeling really good about himself. Now he'd be thinking, right, now it's time to break Matty. Let's make this conscious effort to get to the final now.
Game on.
He'd be feeling great.
And at this point, Richie's still going to be riding on a
100
crest of a wave as to what's happened over the last few days.
Absolutely. I wonder if he's thinking Glenn's life in the PDC was changed with a missed dart at double 16 by Matty Dennant.
180.
Could he reach his biggest final of his career with Matty missing a dart at double 16? How ironic would
58.
that be?
He looks so controlled. He's averaging 102 at this present moment in time. In fairness, Matt Dennant's averaging 88, and he's not had a chance to even have a look in.
He'd appreciate your words as well, because he'd be listening. And to hear your positivity, like the word composed and relaxed, he'll appreciate that.
And we'll only ever be honest. We'll praise where we're able to praise. We'll also be constructive with the players as well.
100. Richie Yokar 116.
I think he'll stay on the 20s, but so many players have gone on the 19s route. It's not a dart he'll like, so he'll have to move across the hockey, but he's been throwing. So I would even think about just a fat 20 or a treble 12 with that last dart, the way they were sat. Big 20 would have left a 2-darter.
100. Richie Yokar 64.
So 64, he'd be looking at the 16 and 8 target. So I think you'll stay there for tops.
Game shot on the second leg.
Hear
Richie
the roar of
Parkin.
emotion. And if I said to you, he doesn't often do that with any winning dart. Probably just tells you where he is right now. And what I'll also say to you is, he actually
Third
aimed
leg,
right in the
Richie
middle of
to
the 8
throw
and the
first. Game
16.
on.
With a case scenario of what will be, will be. And sometimes when you hit that 8, you might favour the 16s more. And when you ping it, it just feels extra special. 2-0 Parkin.
55.
And Dennant with work to do. Although darts like that first one will help.
140
to start against the darts. Needed a break before play got underway. He's going to need a couple now. It's going to be difficult amidst this backdrop.
140.
And just to bring Richie back down to earth, he said he'd be filleting fish at 6 o'clock on Monday morning.
140.
Who said the start in life was luxurious? But he will be bringing me a bag of scampi on Thursday. We're away to the Thornaby
43.
Sports and Social Club, I believe. We'll be playing pairs together. I might even let him go first now.
25.
I said for many years, even at my best, I wasn't even the best player of our team. I talked about Peter Searle. And right now, I think I'll be scraping to be that 6th player now.
84.
That's all right. You could play pairs with me. You could be the main player.
140.
Things haven't got that bad yet. So 179. You might see the 19s come into it. Another one of them.
99. Michael Carl 56.
This is the moment now for Matty Dennant. No more chances, no more missed doubles. This double 10 has to go. It's just been a
46.
night
Richie Parkin,
of a
80.
disaster around the outer ring. Quite simply, Matty Dennant will be absolutely furious because he was a favourite to win tonight. But this double 10, you would feel there's no coming back from that.
60.
Chances.
Michael Carl 10.
Huge moment for Matt Dennant, double 5. And you feel it's to keep his hopes alive, but it doesn't go. And so Parkin returns to the
Richie
double
Parkin,
10
20.
to open up a 3-0 lead and to leave Dennant with a whole host of work to do. Up for double 5. The target Dennant's just
Game
missed,
shot on the
but it's
third
good
leg.
for
Richie
Parkin.
Parkin.
And he's 3-0 up against Matt Dennant. And he's going to have to win the lot here, the Scholar, if he's going to make his way to the final, because the debutant, who's having a dream week here at the Super Series, is a leg away from playing the showpiece match.
It's a Parkin charge.
134.
But that's a good start in a leg. You have to win. Well, every leg he's got to win from here on in. You think Jamie Kelling was
60.
dicing with danger? Have a look at this.
What we can say now is that Richie Parkin said he was thinking about it when he was 3-0 up in one of his league phase games. Has he learnt anything from that, where right now you're on a free roll in this leg? It's against the darts. One thing you can't do,
93.
Richie Parkin, is panic right now. Matty Dennant's too good for that, and Matty Dennant will just be thinking, what happened to those doubles tonight?
98. $137. Michael Carr 89.
It feels like looking at my phone the whole of Teesside are watching this. Just a big shout out to Chris Anderson.
57.
Set up there from Matty Dennant, but Richie be thinking he's barely hit a double tonight. Let's put some pressure on it. That's exactly what he's doing. And if you wonder why he used the 19s, 9 of them would have left double top.
Michael Carr 32.
Come on, Matty Dennant, double 16.
Game shot on the fourth leg. Matt Dennant.
That's so much better.
What?
Richie, there you see, staring at that treble 20. If he's learned anything, don't take your eyes off it.
This leg, Richie to throw first.
As he walks, not once as he took his eyes off that treble 20. Eyes on the prize. Look at him, he hasn't blinked yet. He hasn't blinked, he hasn't took his eyes off it.
140.
Not a difficult game sometimes.
Well, every comeback's got to start somewhere. Matt Dennant with a 13 dart hold and throw. That's certainly the first step
59.
of the journey of 1,000 miles. But that is not the desired start against the darts, especially when your opponent is kicked off 140.
But once again, just
37.
when you think the conclusion of this competition is coming to the end, he throws a 37.
96.
Just keep it simple.
Keep it flowing. Keep it throwing. Keep it to the max.
180.
I think I can hear the Whitby girls from the
60.
lakeside.
To a car 144.
What he would do, it would be fantastic if some of them could be up here supporting him. But right now, it's yours to lose, Richie. Just keep it straight.
44.
Your biggest opponent right now, Henry, is your mind. Your biggest opponent is thinking, I've won this. I remember thinking,
58.
how am I going to
Richie
celebrate when I
100.
win? And all of a sudden, I begin to lose. So right now, focus on that treble 20. Do not deviate into that 5 or a 1, because 60 is not a bad score here. And don't bust.
60.
Job done. It's over to you, Richie Parkin. Henry.
98.
Is Parkin
Richie
fine?
car 40.
He may be a finalist if he can pin this tops.
Game shot on the match.
And Richie Parkin's debut week of dreams will see him in the final to take on Jamie Kelling for the £5,000 top prize. He is one game away from becoming one of the elite members of Champions Week, a 4-1 victor against Matt Dennant. And so our final is set in stone. Jamie Kelling will play Richie Parkin for £5,000 and for a place at Champions Week. That is next.
This is the MODUS Super Series. $180.
Dreams do come true here at the MODUS Super Series. Richie Parkin is into the final, and I've got Glenn Dennant back on the balcony, of course. And Glenn, we've been saying this all week. I mean, this has just been an amazing story for Richie Parkin, and in that's probably one of his most complete performances of the week. He took down a very, very skilled player, a very, very good player in Matty Dennant 4-1 there, and it just seems to be getting better and better and better.
I'm just trying to remain impartial. I'm here this week.
Don't worry about that now.
Yeah, I'm here this
Everybody
week.
from the North East is watching,
yeah,
so you know.
I know they are, and the messages we're getting is unbelievable. This is big news. This is big news at home. Now, you know, we might be in Portsmouth right now, whatever, but back home it's going crazy because he's such a nice guy. But I'm trying to remain professional. I'm trying to remain impartial. In fact, if I wasn't, I would have grabbed Oldham because he's hand slapping everyone downstairs, massive smiles on his face. Boring does it. Richie, get in the players' lounge, get yourself focused. The job's not done yet.
Definitely not. I mean, we look through that stats of that semi-final. We can see there, obviously, Richie, they're averaging just shy of 90. Matty's not exactly far behind him there. The 180's 2-1. But look at that checkout percentage there. 50% on their checkouts. And you called it in commentary. Those double top finishes on those combo shots have been his ammo throughout the entire week.
But the guy whose night it might just be is the guy, when we interviewed him early, you know, yesterday evening, he said it could be all about the person with the best stats. Trebles for sure, doubles for dough. That's so apt right now.
It definitely is. So, of course, it is Richie Parkin against Jamie Kelling then in our final. That'll be getting underway in just a few minutes. But before we look at next week's lineup, what have you made of the week so far, Glenn? What have you made of this week? It's been a fantastic week of quality at the Super Series, in particular Group B.
The highs, the lows, the ecstasy, the heartbreak. Just to see up close and personal. I can't say I've been the greatest ever audience participation. When I played my games, I went home, but it's been brilliant. You get to know people. You know, you see them upset, you see them ecstasy. It's been wonderful. Tonight's been a lot about missed doubles, but that just creates the tension, the anxiety, the worry of players, and you see a different side of them. It's been riveting.
Shall we have a look then at next week?
Yes.
Let's have a look then. Let's have a look at this lineup because, oh my goodness me, what a lineup it is. Look at Group A. That is a Champions Week lineup. Ian Conserman, David Cameron, Gary Stone, Gian Van Veen, Graham Usher and Josh Payne. That Group A could be absolutely brilliant, and it could be, like you say, a Champions Week lineup.
I was super impressed with last week's, and I thought, wow, you know, and Colin Osborne come through it. And then this afternoon, when I got privy to that information today, that's a Brahma.
That is an absolute Brahma. And then we look at Group B, which will be underway on Thursday night and Friday night at this time, 10 o'clock GMT. Andy Jenkins, James Richardson and Paul Hogan, all fantastic players.
From Matty Dennant, who changed my PDC life, to Paul Hogan, who changed my BDO life forever. That's unbelievable. James Richardson can do anything on that dartboard. He's superb. Andy Jenkins, one of the biggest hitters in darts. Unbelievable.
And look at Group C, the players that will be joining us on Thursday morning and Friday morning at 9:30. Adam Lipscomb, Danny Lauby and Diogo Portela, a man you know quite well as well.
Yeah, it's just like a night of Glenn Durrant issue. It's just very cosmopolitan. It's, you know, we're going to get different winners, people who may never have seen. It's really good, it's really exciting, and next week the winner will really deserve it.
They certainly will, there's no doubt about that. Let's talk about this final then, this game that we've got coming up for you. It is Jamie Kelling against Richie Parkin. Now, if you'd have told me this at the start of the night, I'm pretty sure if we were looking at the odds, we would have got good odds on that. Of course, 18+, begambleaware.org if you are having a bet on this final. What are you expecting from this game, do you think?
Both throw exactly the same. Watch the way they bring the dart back. The trajectory of the flight goes all the way under the chin. They're aiming the dart like that. It's they're very reminiscent of each other. But it's going to be quite simple. Your philosophy is a Jamie Kelling's week. Against my philosophy, the best player of the week has been Richie Parkin. This could be a dream win for him.
Well, I'm sure you're going to be a nervous man in the commentary box. And
impartial.
Impartial, but we will go and let you go. And the whole of the North East is watching. They know that definitely. So here we go. Jamie Kelling has felt like a cat of 9 lives, but is his name on the pot, or will it be a dream debut from the man from the North East in Richie Parkin? We're going to let Glenn Durrant try and calm his nerves down before he goes and joins Henry Deacon in that commentary box. Henry, you've got some work with you tonight.
Jana, thank you very much indeed. And the final of week 5 will see one man's dream come true to qualify for Champions Week. Will it be the dream debut week for Richie Parkin come Thursday morning? Not many people knew a lot about this man from Whitby, but now we know a heck of a lot about him, and many people mightily impressed with what they have seen. Up against him, Jamie Kelling, a player we've seen many times before on this Super Series stage, but it would be his biggest achievement in this competition if he could qualify for Champions Week at the beginning of February 2023. Is it going to be the thriller? Is it going to be JK? The bookies are struggling to price them apart. Kelling 10 to 11, Parkin 4 to 5. Who will get their place at Champions Week? Who is going to claim the £5,000 top prize? And who is going to join Jim McEwen, Alexander Merckx, Justin Smith and Colin Osborne at the red carpet occasion? It's a best of 7 legs match, and Glenn Dennant is with me in the commentary box.
Who said nice guys can't succeed? Two of the nicest guys
100.
you'd ever want to meet. Richie Parkin from my neck of the woods. Works in a fish factory in Whitby. One of the nicest places in the world to live. It's Jamie Kelling. Fresh-faced. A real superb player. And he absolutely nailed it in his interview yesterday. Every single player can score like Richie Parkin's doing just there. And it'll all be on the doubles. Just sit back, please, and enjoy every second of this.
140.
That's a really good start to this final. Two players for whom it is a big game in their career to qualify for Champions Week. £5,000 would be a career high payday.
$56.
And it is Parkin with the darts who gets off to a better start, leaving 96 after 9.
I remember my first payday, big payday, was the World Masters. I thought I was going to be a millionaire, and to Richie Parkin,
38.
£5 just might be enough money for him to put aside for Q skill and give this game of darts a real go. A disappointing setup.
41.
He's averaging 110 right now. And a pop, as Henry calls it, is what's in order here.
$38.
Two darts in the opening leg come and go for Parkin. And so Kelling, the man who's been living off of opportunities, has one here in the opening leg. Triple A team would have left the ball.
92.
And so Parkin will return for double 10, but this time under the severest of pressure with Kelling on 32, but he makes no mistake. Richie Parkin holds throw in the opening leg. A reminder that in the final, the two players bull up in the practice room. Richie Parkin was a successful player in that particular exercise, and so he has the honour in the odd-numbered legs, and so Kelling approaches the board to throw first in leg 2.
140.
Whitby is going wild. My phone's going wild. Keep these messages coming.
80.
That's unlucky.
I'm delighted with the last person, Barbara Temp. The Temp fam's been a really difficult week for them this week. Sorry I couldn't be at home and be there to pay my respects, but they're all cheering Richie on.
100.
I can feel the passion from everyone back home right now. So come on, Jamie Kelling fans and friends, get some messages to me, because I'm impartial.
60. $86.
Before this final got underway, what did you feel would be the deciding factors?
Very similar. Very similar personalities, very
95.
similar people, very similar throws. I'm going to leave it to Jamie Kelling. The only thing that's going to separate these guys is that outer ring. I think they'll come down the board pretty close with each other, albeit right now Jamie Kelling's outscoring. I think you'll see the 19s come into play here. He needs a treble, otherwise this is looking like 1-1.
58. Jamie requires 76.
I think the way it's been this week, it's going to be 4-3, do you think?
Could well be. Kelling's going to have 3 darts more to take out this second leg
36.
with Parkin back on 208. So needs himself handy on tops after 15 to level us up at 1 apiece. And maybe we do get that last leg decided that probably would be set fair for the week that we've
99.
seen.
Jamie O'Carr, 40. Game
Tops
shot
it
of
is
the
for
second
Kelling,
leg.
and level we
Jamie
are at 1
Kelling.
apiece. And so what was originally a best of 7 becomes a best of 5 for £5,000.
Alison Parkin.
Third leg,
All
Richie
Richard
first.
was
Game
bothered
on.
about was not embarrassing himself. And a couple of wins would have made him very happy this week. I think he's done a little bit better than that, Henry, do you think?
Done
95.
okay, isn't he?
Actually, Kelling's got the more experience. Certainly the experience here at MODUS Super
60.
Series. Right now, I think all that's out the window. Focus. Focus is key right now. The one who's most concentrated. The one who's really flexible and free and enjoying the darts go. No stress or tension coming in the body. That's the person that will succeed right now. And that's the art of this game.
84.
It's easy for someone to say, just go and enjoy it. It's managing it.
Just a few thoughts and observations on next week's lineup, Glenn. We teased it all week, but next week could be special.
39.
And remember to get your tickets, dartshot.tv, because that finals night could be quite something.
Stacked. Just littered with talent. It's whoever wins that next
55.
week probably has serious aspirations of going on to win Champions Week as well. It's week 6 is week 4 was an absolute Brahman as well. I thought it's not going to get any tougher than that. And I won't tease you anymore, but I've seen when I'm back here
60.
on the 11th of December, that week's absolutely loaded as well. And Cosmopolitan. Good thinking.
162.
Great darts from Jamie
Richie
Kelling there.
O'Carr, 170.
Richie Parkin was beginning to take control. To 170. He's done this already this week. Could 2 fish get battered?
81.
Not this time, but
Jamie
that's a
O'Carr,
slip for the last dart.
140.
And so Kelling returns to 140. It's not going to go, but Parkin could have left it much handier than 89. He could and perhaps should be having 2
25.
darts here at
Richie O'Carr,
tops.
89.
I would love to see a swingometer of momentum. We talked about yesterday because this has gone so far one side. What a dart. That is double 16.
73.
You have to
Jamie
take
O'Carr,
them chances
115.
because this will hurt. Treble 19 for double 19. What a moment this is.
77. Richie O'Carr, 16.
No commentary needed. Just watch Jamie Kelling's response. Double 16. Richie, now you're up for double 4.
Game shot on the
The
third
night
leg.
has
Richie
been
Parkin.
littered with missed doubles. The winner will be the guy that can just sink that double. And the raw emotion shown from Richie Parkin there tells you that
Fourth
last
leg,
start of
Jamie
double
to throw
4 went
first.
in.
Game on.
This is exciting stuff. I hope you're enjoying this as much as the commentary duo are here.
Parkin is halfway there.
123.
It's all gone with throws so far. Kelling did threaten a break in the
43.
previous leg. Missed double 19 on the back of a 115 combination. And in this leg, with the darts, is putting in some big scores.
140.
And that angle shows just it all dips last second for both of these players. The point of the dart. It's virtually in the air
58.
with a couple of centimetres to go. And it just dips last second. So it's all about timing for these two players. Jamie Kelling's really putting the afterburners on right
100.
now. Both players are really comfortable when they're starting the legs first. There's not much room for on the right. So just move across the hockey.
100. Jamie
Maybe
O'Carr,
a steady ton is not enough right now.
So 6 darts on 138. And maybe the experience of Jamie Kelling here is beginning to tell in this showpiece final, averaging 92.9.
98.
He is behind, but he's playing some good stuff. Topped after 12. Parker can only apply pressure here. Doesn't
100.
even
Jamie
finish, so he's
O'Carr,
got 6
40.
for a level game.
And the better player of this final.
Game shot on the fourth leg, Jamie Kelling.
Averaging just shy of 94 is Jamie. This is definitely his best game of the night. No more smiles from him. But what Richie's doing is just snatching that winning dart.
Fifth leg, Richie to throw first.
On his own throw, whereas Jamie's cruising to a win on his throw. So it's a big differential in the averages. But it's 2-2. It's a best of 3 now for 5 grand. And a place in Champions Week.
And in that little bit of an interval between legs, you could see the steely-eyed focus of both players before the call from Paul Hinks to bring Richie to the uke.
Right now, Jamie Kelling's got the bit between his teeth. The worst possible time. Richie's spraying them all over. You have to say that Jamie's the one who's taking control of this match right now, because this game and this leg of darts
46
is against the darts. You feel Richie needs 2 trebles. Back to basics.
$60.
And when your shoulders tighten, that's when the game can get really difficult, where Jamie, to be fair, Jamie looks good. Jamie looks wonderful. Another max. He hit a record number for him yesterday. After 2 matches yesterday, he said he hit 7.
44.
And right now, massive advantage to Kelling,
who is going through the gears at the perfect time. He is finding something in this final, and he inclines his game just as Parkin just a tad bit is regressing. He's turned the screw in this leg.
140.
140 there, still doesn't leave him a finish. So Kelling returns to 90 for a 3-2 lead.
50.
Super stuff from Kelling. Not much coming back from Richie right now. You feel he has to look downstairs.
41. Jamie O'Carr, 40.
That is all about timing. And Jamie right now has put the afterburners on just at the right time. At the beginning of the night, I said it's about peaking at the right time.
6 leg Jamie to throw first. Game on.
Jamie Kelling is playing his best darts of the night at the right time.
And potentially is a leg away
100
from winning week 5 for the £5,000 top prize and a place at Champions Week to join the Hall of Honour. That is Jim McEwen, Alexander Merckx, Justin Smith and Colin Osborne.
48. $83.
5 grand and a place in Champions Week for 20 grand. Even for the runner-up tonight, it's £2,500. It's probably both players' biggest prize.
134.
Richie gives himself a chance there. I'm so impressed with Jamie Kelling right now. So impressed. Just so, you'd think this is the first night and he's just playing down with his mates down the pub because he looks relaxed, he looks focused, and he looks like the winner.
Potentially 3 darts away from Champions Week
43. Jamie O'Carr,
at the start of 2023. 138 is what he wants. Another one of them would have left double 12.
106.
Richie Parkin had a 6-hour journey to get here. Is he running out of petrol? Just at the winning line.
108.
That maximum keeps him in contention. Parkin has been the topic of conversation for the last 3 days, but now everybody's talking about Jamie, because Jamie Kelling is the week 5 winner of the MODUS Super Series. He gets the better of the dream debutant Richie Parkin in the final by 4 legs to 2, and you can see what it means for the man from Andover. He is the winner with a 94.71 average, 2 maximums apiece in that final, 4 out of 7 on the doubles. That was kind of where the game came and went. A 40 high out. Jamie Kelling is the victor by 4 legs to 2. He is the winner of the week. He had to battle through some real trials and tribulations, but he comes out the victor, and his last job of the week is to have a chat with Jarlath Eaton.
He is indeed, Henry, Jamie Kelling. If your name's on the pot, your name's on the pot. Congratulations, you're through the Champions Week.
Thank you. Like I said just before the interview, like I've played better and lost. It's scrappy, but I was winning. And the 12 data against Conor, that was massive. The 96.
Yeah, about to say, did that make you really believe at that point? Did you think, do you know what? Yeah, I can go and win this event tonight.
Do you know what? It's really bizarre because I thought I played all right the Thursday and Friday. Obviously, the first 2 games, both days, I played really well, especially the 107. But I come here tonight, and I thought I was all right until I got on the stage. And I don't know if it's the few people in the crowd or what, but I fell apart. But I found a way to win, and that is what you've got to do. And yeah, I suppose the 96, I thought, do you know what, Conor could have punished me there, but I took my chance, and that's what you've got to do in this game.
About to say as well, I mean, you've had some great performances throughout the week as well in particular. You had that 107 that we mentioned against Warby, and then again, you've been up and down, a bit like a seesaw, really, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day because you've come through when it matters in the clutch.
Do you know what, I always look at James Wade, and I think he don't care about averages, he cares about winning. You'd rather win with an 80 than lose with 100. And that's the mentality you've got to have. And I've rode my luck, don't get me wrong, but I'm over the moon with this. You
made yourself 3rd place here beforehand on night, in a finals night in particular. Do you think that experience, maybe against the debutant like Richie, may have got you over the line? Maybe,
but he done me 4-0 earlier in the night. So I thought, you know, that might come into play, but I felt like I was growing into the night. I think my average got better and better. I don't know what the average was in the final, but I'm sure it was better than the first 2 games. And lastly, very important question. How much money do you owe Lee Evans tonight? I think Lee just wants a beer, doesn't he? Did you think at any point tonight that your name was on the pot? You qualified through the back door twice, having to wait on other results. You've come through that semi-final there as well tonight, and now you're through the final. Did you ever think at any point that you were going to be standing here £5,000 richer and having a place at Champions Week? No. One might answer no, but you know, like you said, sometimes it's written in the stars, and tonight's my night. And I've had many nights where I've almost been in tears. You know, I played really well and lost, but tonight, for some reason, it's my night, and you know, I'm going to cherish it.
Jamie, go and celebrate. Congratulations. Through the Champions Week. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
This man joins Jim McEwen, Alexander Merckx. Everybody give it up for Jamie Kelling. He joins Jim McEwen, Alexander Merckx, Justin Smith and Colin Osborne in Champions Week. You can join Chris Murphy Monday morning from 9:30 GMT on Sporty Stuff TV and the MODUS Super Series YouTube channel to see who joins Jamie Kelling in Champions Week next. From us all here in Portsmouth, thank you very much for your company throughout the week, and from all of us, a very good night.